6:04, Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP, mornings with Brian Haldane, off and running. Brian here with you, JP producing. Starting you off at 77 degrees in downtown Baton Rouge. Full slate for a show today, y'all. Franz is in the house. We're going to do a little Legally Served coming up about 20 minutes from right now. Talking about taking the 5 major deep water ports in South Louisiana and combining their forces to make a Voltron of the Mississippi River. I might be off on my the details there. That's why we're going to talk in the 7 o'clock hour with Julia Fisher Cormier. We've got Congresswoman Julia Letlow on later on as well. This is the first time we've had 2 Julias on the same show. Councilman Darryl Hurst will be in. Allisa Trayler going to talk a little cost. We got a full slate. We're ready to rock and roll, so let's go ahead and get it. We start off with top stories and trending.
Number 5.
The Governor's Office of Homeland Security and Emergency Preparedness awarded a $350,000 grant for safety and security upgrades to split among 7 East Baton Rouge Parish schools. La Belle Air Elementary, McKinley Middle, Claiborne Elementary, Bel Air High, Park Elementary, Southeast Middle, and Glen Oaks High will get $50,000 apiece for various improvements.
Number 4.
A popular bridge in St. George has closed unexpectedly, leaving residents confused, saying they didn't receive any notice about this closure. Residents now have to take a 2-mile detour instead of using the bridge on Tiger Bend Road. The detour route takes them up Creek Hollow Road around to Feather Nest Lane.
Number 3.
The U.S. Supreme Court will revisit a case whose decision will decide whether Louisiana's latest congressional maps will violate the 14th and 15th Amendments. Louisiana versus Calais alleges that the maps that create a second black majority district in the state that were passed by state legislators back in 2024 were illegally gerrymandered. The creation of a new black majority district, that's Cleo Fields' district, one that stretches from Baton Rouge to Shreveport, taps into the Lafayette and Alexandria metro areas. It was mandated by a U.S. Fifth Circuit ruling.
Number 2.
A man arrested for the 2021 death of a Zachary homeowner was found guilty of reduced charges and sentenced to probation on Tuesday. Yes, this is one of the topics we will be covering with Franz in Legally Served coming up in just a little bit. Probation for the death of a Zachary homeowner. So back on July 18th, 2021, 34-year-old Desmond Hamilton was shot and killed in his home. In his home. Police said that a 17-year-old, then at the time 17-year-old, Nicholas McWhorter, climbed through the second story of Hamilton's home to see his 14-year-old daughter. The now 21-year-old McWhorter pleaded guilty to negligent homicide and illegal use of a weapon. McWhorter originally faced second-degree murder charges before Tuesday's plea.
So Zachary lives don't matter.
Apparently.
Number 1.
Number 1, funeral arrangements are set for Sergeant Caleb Eisworth. Baton Rouge Police Chief T.J. Morse was in studio with us yesterday, saying it was likely going to be on Saturday, and that's exactly what's going to happen. Saturday, visitation, 9 a.m. at Estruma Baptist Church. Funeral to follow right at heads up noon. What's trending, JP?
Well, members of the Washington, D.C. National Guard have reported for duty across the nation's capital on August 12th under President Donald Trump's orders to fight crime and reduce homelessness in the city.
I'll sleep safer.
But we're still at that 2 things can be true at the same time. You know,
right.
You can have the lowest homicide numbers in 30 years, and homicide can still be out of control. Those things can both happen at the same time.
That's correct.
You can have lower crime numbers, and homelessness can still be rampant. Those things can be true at the same time. What I don't like, however, is the White House press secretary reporting on individual arrests in her daily briefing. I feel like that's slightly below the pay grade of the White House. The executive branch of our government, talking about felony and misdemeanor arrests within a city. I get that it's the capital city of our nation, but my Lord.
But is she in that position because the reporters are asking her questions about it?
She led with it.
Okay.
She led with it because they would have asked her questions about it. But as an update on the ongoing situation, let's tell you what happened. We had 24 arrests. We took guns off the streets that had extended magazines, just possession with intent to distribute. And I'm like, this is the White House.
Is it just to say, hey, we're doing something?
This is the world leader.
We're doing something.
Yeah. But, I don't know where you go from here.
Yeah.
Are we going to start arguing over property lines?
Hey.
I mean, is it, if
I
I have
reached that point.
if I have a backup in drainage in the sewer beneath our streets, do I call the White House directly for that?
I want Solomon to cut the baby in half.
As well,
I mean, he's the president.
Right.
Hey, so fake news reared its head yesterday as rumors swirled on social media that Odell Beckham Jr. was retiring.
Yeah.
FWIW, the LSU great, tweeted that he's not done yet.
Yes. No, he's not. And it was the midday guys over on 104.5 bit into it. Everybody, it happens to everybody. Everybody gets caught once in a while when they're processing their show, and you see news scroll across, and everybody gets caught with the fake news once in a while. And it's not unbelievable. I mean, Odell is probably getting on that time.
Yeah.
He's getting around. I mean, if Honey Badger's there, OBJ's got to be there as well.
That's true. Hey, in other news, Paramount has secured U.S. TV rights to UFC in a $7.7 billion deal, leaving ESPN behind.
And Dana White says that pay-per-view's not done. So I'm curious to see where this goes.
Oh, I am too. Man.
If I'm shelling out $7.7 billion, I mean, the advertising is going to have to be through the roof, first and foremost. And then if you can charge advertisers and viewers, now you're starting to find some money.
And let's not forget, Dana White. I wonder if they do want to have a UFC fight on July 4th.
So
is that going to affect anything?
No, Dana White said that is going to happen.
Yeah.
So, okay.
He's really adamant about it, too. I mean, he's really confident that it's going to happen.
Why wouldn't he be? He's the ultimate promoter.
That's right.
I mean, he's the P.T. Barnum of today.
Yes, indeed.
So
that's a good comparison.
Thank you.
That's good.
Thank you. We're coming up on 612 at Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP. We have some LSU football to talk in just a little bit. First, got to remind you about the folks over at Landmark Bank. LandmarkBankLA.com is the website. LandmarkBankLA.com. They are your community bank. Whichever community you're in. Tell you what. Check their website. A little drop-down menu where you'll find the different locations and hours. They believe in being a community bank because they believe in that one-on-one service. They believe that when you have a bank, you should also have a banker, someone who knows your hopes, dreams, and desires and how to help you get there. Whether we're talking about borrowing money for purchasing your first home or diving into the entrepreneurship world. Whether we're talking about your regular checking and savings or planning for your retirement. If you are in Zachary, if you're in Clinton, if you're in Denham, if you're in Brewley, like I said, check their website for all the locations. But regardless of your community, you want to check out LandmarkBankLA.com. Quick break. Sports is next. You're out for 650 today? All right. I thought we had you the whole time because no tie.
I mean, what's Court TV going to do to me at this point? Not let me off. What you talk about on Brian Haldane's show? Yeah. This topic, and I know there's two really good topics today, but this topic about the in-court dumping or pumping made me, in that entire case or the story, kind of got me back to baby Brian. You don't have to wake up at it. You don't have to wake up at a 10. You don't have to. I mean, that's what it feels like, right? It kind of feels like this just feels like it could have been handled differently.
Yeah.
Some people just have to wake up at a 9 or a 10.
So this is one of the problems I have with my own business, is the number of news talk hosts who are constantly at a fever pitch. And I wanted to bring this up with Congressman Carter yesterday. I have never opened an email or press release from Troy Carter that didn't start off with the congressman's outraged. Like, well,
At what point does your outrage become
like
disingenuous?
if Donald Trump wakes up in the morning, Congressman Carter's outraged. I'm like, are you ever like irked, mildly cheesed? Like you're always outraged? You can't always be at outrage level.
Where do you go from there?
Right.
Like, where, what's up from outraged?
Right.
Really outraged.
Right. It's
So, point is, I totally rewatched Baby Brian just to motivate myself.
Baby Rocco's got to happen. Baby Haggai's got to happen. After that, I think the craze is kind of, well, I want to say the craze is over with, but last night I saw the Sarah scene from Beverly Hills Cop.
In baby form. I can't not watch them when it's a, I'm waiting for heat. The scene in the
At
yeah.
the table. Oh.
Yeah, yeah. I rewatched it this weekend. And I didn't appreciate it when I was younger and watched it. And
Yeah.
now that I've been in the criminal justice system for a while, it's
The
like,
weight of it.
oh, good movie.
.616 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP. Mornings with Brian Haldane rolling right along. Keep that rolling, JP. Talk 107.3 proudly supports Mayor President Sid Edwards' Men for Others campaign and the upcoming Battle on the Bluff High School Jamboree. Watch as 12 area teams compete from Thursday, August 28th through Friday, August 29th at A.W. Mumford Stadium on the campus of Southern University. You can get more information and purchase your tickets today at talk1073.com. It is sports time here at Talk 107.3 FM, and let's check in with a couple of players have been showing up and showing out in fall camp. Wide receiver room, arguably the deepest room out there, and of those in the wide receiver room, one who is turning a ton of heads is Kentucky transfer Barry Brown. Tigers brought him in during the offseason. A lot of speed. Dude's got wheels. This season, he should add to the vertical passing game. Barry Brown says the rest of the talent in the wide receiver room makes him a little bit better every day.
Like I said, in that room, it's just we gel so good together. Everybody want to see the best for one another. Everybody rolling, so it's competitive for sure. But man, they bring the best out of us, and that's what they want. On my official, when I came here, I let them know that I'm somebody that's gonna take the top off. You can give me screen, whatever you do, just get the ball in my hand, and I'll make a play.
LSU tight end room, not lacking either. You've got over there Bauer Sharp, Trey'Dez Green, and Donovan Green was added in the offseason as well. Green says Sharp helped him with his confidence during the summer.
He gives off a lot of traits that Mason did with being a veteran, a leader towards me. He's been teaching me really the mindset, like I'm bigger than everybody, so I should play like I'm bigger than everybody. Like that guy, he's amazing, man.
Back to Barry Brown, talking about his wide receivers coach, Cortez Hankton. Brown just looks at the recent wide receivers that have come through LSU, your Malik Neighborses of the world, the Brian Thomas Juniors of the world. Brown says Hankton brings that out in you.
A blessing, honestly. I feel like he get me right with the little things, route running, reducing, speed cutting, just knowing the playbook, everybody assignment. Every day we're doing something different. And I thanked him probably a week ago. I'm just like, Coach, I'm thankful for you because I feel like he's getting me better in some spots I didn't even know I could get better at.
Counting it down to August 30th. Meanwhile, preseason NFL action resumes tomorrow night. You're going to have the Titans at the Falcons at 6 p.m. 9 o'clock brings you the Chiefs at the Seahawks. We got 1 minute till we have to meet up with the Fox Business Report. Enough time for me to remind you about the folks over at Industry Makes. IndustryMakes.org is the website. Super proud of this partnership that we got going on here, walking us up till Friday. I will be broadcasting live from Legislator in Lake Charles. This is industry on display at Legislator. The Southwest Louisiana Chamber puts it on. Sorry. And it is a host of talks culminating in a big lunch. The manufacturing sector is on display, and this is where industrymakes.org shines. The businesses that surround our manufacturing industry, this is who they want to raise to the forefront. Learn more at industrymakes.org, and definitely tune in Friday. We will have a full slate of players in the game coming to you from L'Auberge of Lake Charles. L'Auberge du Lac. Here is the Fox Business Report.
That's interesting.
What?
Apparently, I'm serving tomorrow evening for Vigil Mass.
Yep, I'm going to have to go to confession because I can neither make the vigil nor the Assumption Day Mass.
That's an easy one. Couldn't make it my day of obligation.
Yep. I got a lot to unload though, so I need to go anyway.
I'm gonna need a two flusher on this one, Father.
So Father last night.
Father Cleo or Father Josh? No. Where were you at?
Pack core team.
Are you core? Are you hardcore?
Yep.
I would like to pick your brain on what that's like. Like, just because it's like kind of like the sausage being made.
I mean, it's
not. I mean, yes and no.
I do it because it's an opportunity to serve, but we are so retreat heavy at Mercy, and we don't do a whole lot of other things within the
kind of what I would love to see us do.
apostolate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or steering people towards existing programs like KC or like Mid-Mercy or whatever.
That man is you.
Yeah, whatever the women have.
That woman is you. I don't know.
Chicks of Mercy. Mercy Chicks. So the boy is playing football.
Okay.
And I think we found what he's not an athlete. Not yet. Not yet. He's not quick. But he's big. He's a big dude. He's okay at basketball. He's not going to be fast. That's a problem. But put him on a
hang tight. Starting off I-12 westbound out of Denham Springs, you are going to have some pretty heavy volume, actually. Not just your normal volume. It's added on to it. You're going to tap the brakes a good bit right past the Range Avenue exit. Should clear up a little bit once you get past the Amy River Bridge as you approach O'Neill Lane. But you are going to slow down again when you get towards the 10-12 merge. Over on 10 westbound, you already know the deal. It is wide open over there. 10 eastbound coming in from westbound Rouge looks good as well, as does 110. Both bridges are wide open too. Now, surface streets, there's only one thing to report, and I'm just going to read it to you the way it's written. Traffic congestion, Central, Greenwell Springs Road, Magnolia Bridge Road. So it's not being reported as an accident or anything, just congestion right there. That's your look at traffic from the Talk 173 Traffic Center. About to roll over to 624, Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP, mornings with Brian Haldane, rolling right along, holding at 77 degrees to start off your Wednesday morning. Coming up a little later on the show, yes, we will take a look at the tropics. Yes, we will have the latest on Aaron. Got one eye on Aaron going on right now.
With an E or an A?
Oh, with an E.
Oh.
Aaron with an E. Got to love that. Tropical storm right now, going to elevate to a hurricane, potentially a major hurricane by the end of this week or beginning of next week. So we do have an eye on Aaron. That's coming up later on. Right now, we got a little legally served. It came on the other night.
It's a good movie.
It is.
It's a
Watched
really
it.
good
Christy
movie.
and I were watching it. She's like, "You can recite this whole movie, can't you?" And I'm like, "Yes, I can."
Can't handle the truth.
That's like the weakest line of the whole thing.
You want me on that wall. You know, some weeks I come in here and I'm kind of like a Celine Dion or a Bette Midler. Today I'm feeling Motley Crue.
Okay.
I'm Motley Crue today.
Okay.
We got two stories. Two stories to talk about.
One of them is a pretty major deal. The other one is completely not.
Well,
Which one do you want to start with?
Well, so the one that's not, I think we can dispose of relatively quickly.
Go for it.
Long story made short, public defender who works in a courtroom every day.
Yeah.
Goes on maternity leave. She has a kid. Haven't seen the kid. She's a good public defender. She's real nice.
Mm-hmm.
And sends an email to the judge. Hey, I'm coming back, and this is my pumping schedule. Is that the right way of saying it? Pumping schedule?
Sure.
Okay. And again, Franz Borghardt does not know what it's like to pump breast milk or to have to pump breast milk. So everything that follows is not meant to be insensitive to women who are going through that. Long story made short, judge responds with, well, and I'm paraphrasing, that's great. I hope your colleagues step up because we're not like going to stop court, and shenanigans ensue. Public defender hires Joe Kraft. Joe Kraft, a excellent civil rights, employment law, ADA law, Americans with Disability Act attorney. And then there's a story on, was it WBRC or WAFB? One of the two. AFB about judge doesn't allow breastfeeding. I mean, essentially, what's the header?
The headline: Judge and lawyer have courthouse battle over breastfeeding breaks. Not
quite what happens, but so here's the breakdown. Your employer absolutely has to accommodate you if you have a quote unquote disability. Now, is the need to breastfeed a disability? I don't know.
Motherhood is not a disability.
No. They have, but in terms of accommodations, the court, I don't know, legally has to accommodate you if you need to go pump or dump or pump and dump.
I'm gonna go ahead and dig in on this one because I really don't think, I did not think this was a big deal, but now that you're saying it out loud, so justice is supposed to stop and wait.
I mean, that's
the judicial system in Baton Rouge is supposed to stop and wait. The already backed up courtrooms of Baton Rouge are supposed to stop and wait.
If you read the story that way, sensationalized, that's what it sounds like.
Yeah.
Would you like the reality?
Go for it.
So, one, court does not go on all day long.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe half a day.
No.
Number two, there are a lot of people doing business in a courtroom. Public defenders, multiple public defenders, multiple private attorneys. So for her to step out and to pump for 20 minutes is actually not ridiculous.
If court is only going on for half a day, stepping out for 20 minutes is a bigger percentage of that.
But my point is in a 2 to 3 hour period, I think her schedule was in every 2 hours, 20 minutes.
Yeah.
So, I mean, realistically, we're talking about she gets there, she pumps, she does court for 2 hours, she pumps, and then she does the rest of her court. That could theoretically happen.
Yeah.
I think this is less of a legal issue. This is more of we could handle this better as adults.
Okay, so one of my takeaways was, and I apologize if I read this wrong, but one of my takeaways was the judge is too important to be held up.
Justice is more important. Too important. Well, and here's the irony. Judge Colette Griggs, who is a mama.
Yeah.
So we're not talking about a dude who's like, yeah, you got to go pump that milk. Yeah, I ain't stopping court for that. We're not talking about that. We're talking about a mom.
Right.
I don't know if she pumped or didn't pump. That's an individual choice.
I completely understand. But, a judge can step out whenever a judge wants to.
I think this got blown up. And honestly, I don't think that the court has an obligation to stop everything. It should be something that these parties, and she's in that court every day, they should all be able to work together. Yeah. You don't have to quote Brian Haldane, you don't have to start at a 9 or a 10.
No, you don't wake up at a 10. And if you don't wake up at a 10, you can talk a little bit.
Right. Now, the email exchange from the judge, the optics were not good. Like the email response from the judge was not great, but it wasn't like, hey, I intend to trample over your rights. And by the way, let me just state for the record, if Franz Borghardt has to get up in court to use the bathroom, guess what Franz Borghardt does?
Goes to use the bathroom. Right.
Now, in a jury trial, I'll ask for permission to approach if it's an appropriate break time and say, Judge, I really need to use the bathroom. Can I go use the bathroom? And 9 times out of 10, the judge is like, hey, jury, do you need to take a break? And we take a break.
Well, you know what? We need to take a break. News, traffic, weather. Legally Served continues next.
That was a great little break segue there. It's like you've been doing this for how many decades?
That's 2.
Yeah, 20 years. 20 years.
October 04.
There's generally 3 to 4 public defenders in a room, if not at least 2. So there should be another public defender in the room.
But, okay, do public defenders,
You're about to ask the great question.
Do they have to do homework on every case to where they could just step in and pitch
No. The way and you couldn't do it that way because your guideline caseload would be unfathomable. Yeah. Generally, they have cases assigned to them. Now, there's certain facets of the case that anybody can do. If we're doing an arraignment or someone's pleaded not guilty, no, she doesn't have to be at the podium pleading not guilty or with her client. Somebody, Timmy or Susie, could do that separate and apart. For a trial or a motion hearing, she has to be front and center. But there's so much business going on in that courtroom that you can keep navigating around her files until she gets back in there. That's what I'm trying to convey is this may not really be an issue.
Yeah.
Now, maternity leave is a thing in her employment. She has to be able to take off time, and then they have to accommodate her when she comes back. Is it, Byron writes, is this really a gender discrimination issue and not an ADA claim? Well, I don't know. I don't know. I'm not an HR guy.
Motherhood is not a disability. Breastfeeding is not, pumping is not a disability.
Well, it's discretionary. Now, here's the thing. This is where the layers get milky, pun intended. We as a society generally accept if a mom wants to breastfeed her child anywhere, we prefer a blanket over the child in the areas, but we allow that.
Yeah.
And woe to the fool that criticizes the mom for doing that. The problem with the machine that pumps is what? It makes noise. Yeah. Sucking noises.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to be, it's a thing, right?
Right.
If you're a guy out there who's not been around it, it does make noise. It would be a distraction in court.
Yeah.
I think I've handled this topic in a very mature way.
Oh, absolutely. By the way, good morning, Christy. I don't even know if she's in yet.
How's Christy doing? How's back to school going?
Not bad.
Okay.
Not bad. Parents can be a lot.
Parents can be a lot.
Parents can be very self-absorbed and
entitled. I don't think our kids are in the same class.
I don't think so.
Yeah. Yeah, football. He's going to be a lineman. He'll be an O lineman. Right now, he's the big kid.
James isn't into football yet. The problem is James is going to grow up to be a tight end size. And he's not aggressive. He doesn't hit people.
He's a good kid. He's a nice kid.
We've been in the gym a little bit.
He's getting
no, not like the he's not lifting. Well, he's got his little dumbbells that I have him do. because he's not aggressive, when the other kids are going to get more aggressive, I want him to be able to make it hurt.
Yeah.
Right.
Boat up.
You only got to do it once. You only got to do it once.
It's like the prison yard.
Yeah. No,
It is.
well, and this is the thing, and I don't know if I'll ever be able to, successfully convey this to Christy because she grew up with sisters. It's like, no, he will get in a fight one day.
Yeah.
And if he doesn't hold his own, he will get more.
Right. It makes it worse.
Right.
You can even lose. Here's the thing. You can lose the fight, but if you put on a good show, people won't mess with you after that.
It's got to hurt. So, anyway, we've been shooting baskets a little bit, and he's getting increasingly better. Like
Because of the strengthening of the.
Well, no. Just because we're getting out there a little bit, and he's actually doing it a little bit. So it's basketball and cross country for him.
Okay. Fisher doesn't.
What up, Chandler?
Fisher's not a runner. My son's not he doesn't want to run. Doesn't have the speed. He's not built for speed. Borghardt men are not built for speed. Are you doing Rotary Day for lunch?
I'm not. I have to miss Rotary today. And it's John Kerwin from Pennington.
I should go to that.
And Pennington's a sponsor of the show.
I should go. I'll represent.
Please.
It's a free lunch. Well, it's not a free lunch. I've bought the lunch.
You pay for it.
It's not. It's Drusilla Seafood, which actually is. If I ever do a radio show again, I want to get Drusilla Seafood to sponsor because people forget about them, and it's good. That in Veracruz.
I tried to go to Veracruz the other day, but I had to change plans and we went to City Club instead. That's
You know. It's convenient. It's strictly convenience for you.
well, it was convenient for the other person because they had a downtown meeting afterwards.
Okay.
I just. I'm not big on the racial vibe.
It's not that bad. Either.
Yes, so whatever you say, so.
Those guys make good money.
Oh, I know, so.
Stop.
You tip well, so.
Actually, you can't tip there. You're not supposed to tip there.
I know. It's part of the membership. Brock says, yes, Brian, judges are important. Justice, too, I guess.
Justice can't wait 20 minutes, Brock. Love that song. Love it.
.637 Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP, mornings with Brian Haldane, rolling right along. We got Franz Borghardt all the way up till 6:50 this morning before we got to hand him off to Court TV. What you talking about on Court TV?
Don't know.
Okay.
Just show up and start
All right.
talking law.
Yeah, all good.
So you want to pivot? Same judge, different topic?
No,
or you want to stay?
not yet, because I want to find, like,
Did you know it was
when
the same
things-
judge?
No, I didn't. But when things like this happen, how difficult is it to get the horse back in the barn? How difficult is it to
Well, when you blow it up in the news
Right.
on a story with
Right.
Joe Kraft,
right?
it's kind of hard. Kind of hard to hug that out, right?
Yeah. And you ever watch Eastbound and Down with Danny McBride? Yeah. It's like you're like, yeah, I realize I'm wrong, but I can't stop shouting because that'll mean I
Right.
lost the argument.
I love that show.
Yeah, that's good. But once this happens, you got to fight it out the whole way through now.
But it's not. I guess what I was getting at is what I keep coming to is I'm not sure this is a legal issue. I think this is a professional issue.
It is
I'm
now.
not crazy about. By the way, to some degree, while I understand both sides, I'm not. I mean, my breasts don't make milk at this point. I'll always leave room for the possibility. My point is, I don't have a dog in this hunt beyond this. What bothers me about this is two professional individuals were sending emails back and forth,
Mm-hmm.
and then we read the email from the judge to the public defender in the news.
Right.
Okay. You put it in an email these days.
Did we read the other email though?
I don't know if I think the other
Kind of important.
Well, the other email is essentially, this is my schedule.
Mm-hmm.
I'm coming back. This is my schedule.
Yeah.
But my point is, yes, I would tell a client or an individual, if you put it in writing, you can't assume anymore that it's going to be just between you and the other individual.
Yeah.
That bothers me. That's unprofessional. However, that being said, the judge could have handled this better. I don't think it's a legal issue. I think it's a grow up and handle situations. If this is how, am I sounding like Brian Haldane? If this is how they're handling this issue,
Mm-hmm.
it gives you pause, right?
You got the female public defender, you got the female attorney, you got the female judge. The patriarchy here is just oozing.
Like
Now we can
milk.
pivot.
Like milk.
Oh, God.
Like a river. The White Sea. Anyways, point is, same judge, different story.
Let's go for it. Man receives probation after climbing into Zachary Holmes' window to see an underage girl and kills the father. So the story here is a man arrested for the 2021 death of a Zachary homeowner was found guilty of reduced charges and sentenced to probation on Tuesday. Back on July 18th, 2021, I remember following the story as it happened. 34-year-old Desmond Hamilton was shot and killed at his own home. Police said that 17-year-old, he was 17 at the time, Nicholas McQuarter, climbed through the second-story window of Hamilton's home to see his 14-year-old daughter. McQuarter's now 21. He pleaded guilty to negligent homicide and an illegal use of a weapon. He originally faced second-degree murder charges before Tuesday's plea.
So a dude going to see not his daughter, it sounded confusing.
Sorry.
He's going to see a chick, a teenager.
No. Yes, no. The guy he killed,
Right.
that's the father of the
Right.
daughter.
17-year-old trying to go break in to see a 14-year-old.
Right.
Okay.
Yes.
Like a Romeo and Juliet scenario.
A little bit. I mean, it's if you had the B and E there. I mean, it was Romeo stayed on the ground and called up for her. But McQuarter was released on bond, must serve 5 years of supervised probation. McQuarter will stay with his mother with an enforced curfew. Oh, I'm ready for that. Of 8 p.m. to 7 a.m.
That's certainly one way of sentencing someone.
It's not. That's not a
Negligent-
sentence at all.
So let's.
It's not a. It's not even a.
So let me challenge you to do the following. Play lawyer for a minute.
Sure.
Why would you allow this guy to plead to a 0 to 5 year nonviolent felony, negligent homicide, and probate him? What would be the argument for that?
That I would be on board with that deal? Is that what you're asking?
If you were a lawyer advocating for the dude or a judge, this judge,
I can't envision the scenario where I would sign off on that deal.
right. So there, I suspect there's more to this.
Okay.
Okay. The victims were not on board. The victims' family members, I'm getting to the meat of it.
Yeah.
They're not on board. This deal was a plea down from murder to negligent homicide.
Mm-hmm.
0 to 5 year non-crime of violence that allows for probation. It's discretionary. We have to assume, not fact, I am assuming this guy had no prior criminal record. 17 at the time of the crime.
Sure.
So he's probably tried as an adult, but is in fact a 17-year-old. So I point this out not to give him a free pass, but if he's convicted of second-degree murder, he has a chance at parole. Life is not life for juvenile.
Sure.
So, I mean, I have to believe there's more to it.
Probably, because the scenario that's playing
Justice
out right
doesn't
now.
stop for 20 minutes, Brian.
Well, let me ask you this. Okay, rewind the clock to when young Franz was on the prowl. Okay.
On the prowl?
Yeah, when young Franz was in high school.
I never broke into somebody's house.
Chasing after the young red stickers out there. Okay.
That's a lot of work.
If you were, let's say, a junior or a senior going after a freshman, did you often bring a gun with you?
No, not really.
Okay, well, this dude did.
Right.
I
Which
mean,
is, by the way, a
apparently-
crime.
Yeah.
Crime.
So you got that added to the mix right there.
I mean, but there's a certain amount of romance to this, right? Except for the fact he shot the young lady's father
Right.
dead.
Right. I know.
And by the way, if you're a dad and someone's breaking into your house, you certainly have the right to do what? Defend your house.
Defend your home, yes. Now, conversely, if the dad is attacking this young 17-year-old, and now he's on the ground pinned down and whatnot, if he's got the gun, he's going to use it, right? I mean, if dad's going to beat him to within an inch of his life.
I think that I might have been okay with the negligent homicide with enough mitigation.
I don't know.
I think probation feels like, in the article, the attorney says, well, the judge is going to hold his feet to the fire.
No, the judge has already said, we're not going to hold your feet to the fire. We're going to keep you to a curfew. Woo!
I'm going to say something that's going to get me in trouble.
Go for it.
What I can't reconcile is a judge that will not allow a public defender who works in her courtroom every single day and is fighting hard for people 20 minutes to go dump breast milk or pump breast milk, but simultaneously gives someone who's breaking into a house and murders the father of a presumably, I mean, this is not rapey, right? Statutory rape, 17, 14. I mean, it's 3 years age different. Kind of feels a little bit rapey.
It's a little bit.
A little bit. I don't understand how those judges coexist in the same universe. That same person coexists.
Yeah.
Like, that doesn't make sense to me.
It
and
is.
I don't mean that. Look, Colette Griggs is a great human being. She's not a bad judge. She's good. I just don't understand, like, to me, that, like, wait, huh? You're gonna show the murderer more compassion than you are the person who's working in your courtroom to help your courtroom function on a daily basis?
Now, go back to where you said they're going to hold his feet to the fire. That's not the judge saying that. That's the McWhorter's attorney.
Says that the judge is going to hold his feet to the fire.
Yes. Yeah, that's okay. That is, at the end of the day, the person's attorney. Yeah, that is like, oh, no, this is such a horrible thing, when it's totally not. I'm not buying that argument for a second.
I'm a little surprised. I'm not a prosecutor anymore. I'm a little surprised this wasn't a plea to a manslaughter.
Right.
Where there could be a little bit more teeth hanging over this guy's head. You could still probate him on manslaughter, but you could have more teeth hanging over his head. It's a crime of violence. So that means he does more time if he messes up. You could put 10 years over his head. You could put 20 years over his head. Manslaughter carries up to 40 years. So kudos to the defense attorney for getting his client a fantastic deal. Kudos.
Yeah, but, like, I'm still stuck on how. How did it happen? What went down within that that we don't know about?
That's why I suspect there's more to this. And it could really have been the father was trying to wrestle away a gun or something, and the kid was acting in self. I don't know. It just, the whole thing sounds, part of it's the reporting, though. Going back to the reporting, some of it, yes, this is clickbait. We're talking about it because, in part, it's a story, right? It's a conversation story. But I feel like there has to be more to this. There has to be.
If there's not, then I'm left baffled.
Misbehaving.
That juxtaposition there that you mentioned of
that makes
you're
sense.
Gonna be harder on a public defender who wants a break than you are on a someone who killed someone else.
It kind of your tongue-in-cheek comment about we don't have 20 minutes to spare for justice.
Right.
Well, what kind of justice are you giving out in that courtroom?
Yeah.
That's the issue. Now, that said, if you plead to negligent homicide, you are potentially probation eligible. And if he gets the max, let's say he gets the max. Let's flip the argument. He gets 5 years maxed out, negligent homicide.
Right.
If he has no criminal record, he does a quarter of that. So a quarter of 5, 60 divided by 4 is what? 15?
15.
Yeah, just 15 months. That's a
Okay.
year and change.
Right.
Don't know if he had done any time prior to that. Don't know if he had made bet. If his charge was initially second-degree murder.
I'm going to work under the assumption that he hadn't.
Right. So he may have been, and when did the original charge come? Because he may already have credit for time served.
Why the murder happened in 2021, or the homicide happened in 2021.
If he's been percolating in jail for all that time, guess what?
See, that part I don't know either, because that's not
If
the story.
that is in fact true, didn't that make the story juicy? If that is in fact true, guess what? If he messes up, he already has the amount of time necessary to where there is no fire to the feet.
But you would think if you had served time.
Why put him on probation?
No, if he had served time, that would have included. McWhorter was released on bond and must serve 5 years of supervised probation. Not
he wasn't
McWhorter
released on bond.
Well, that's what it says.
Right. That's not. That's not good reporting.
Right.
He pled guilty and was probated. Now, if he was released on bond and not doing time, maybe he did some mitigation in that time period and presented it to the DA and to the judge, and that was something to reflect on and to consider.
Yeah.
Same judge, same courtroom.
Either way.
Two different stories. Look at what we did today.
Yeah.
We brought things together.
Yeah. All right, we got 30 seconds left. I was going to ask you about a death penalty question, but
Sure. Go for it.
Well, we don't have time now.
You want to talk about the cop that got killed recently?
Yep.
We can come back later this week,
All right.
maybe.
No, I'm going to be on the road on Friday, so I know. We'll hit you up early next week. He's attorney Franz Borghardt. Stops in every week for Legally Served. We always appreciate the time, brother. 650, Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP. Let's get the latest from Your Money Now. Later. Thank you, Franz. So the part that I didn't go into was from the original story back in 2021. There is reason to believe there was self-defense going on here. The discussion was more fun, though.
Yeah.
They shot each other. Like
They did?
dad shot the kid shot the dad. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You see, it was a whole shootout, man, going on in there.
Oh, we need to do something here. I'm just going to clarify the added part of the story. Talk 107.3 and Citizens Bank and Trust want to make things a little easier on your budget by making your groceries for an entire year. And even if you don't win the grand prize, we're awarding second chance prizes of $250 gift cards to High Neighbor Supermarkets. It's the free groceries for your sweepstakes powered by Citizens Bank and Trust, High Neighbor, and Talk 107.3. Register now at talk1073.com. I do want to add on to that story. I mentioned very briefly the self-defense angle, that story that Franz and I were talking about right there. And as the discussion went on, we got away from it, but it would be negligent on my part to not go back and mention the dad did shoot him back or shot him. There was an exchange of gunfire. It wasn't just the gun. It wasn't just the one guy with the gun. So there was an exchange there, to be sure, which is an important part of the discussion. But going back to it, in a vacuum, you're a 17-year-old breaking into the house of your 14-year-old, I guess, girlfriend. You are climbing a ladder with a gun to go into this home. Like, first of all, I mean, the dad inside the home, fire away. You got somebody coming through the window right there. That's part of the risk you take. But it would be negligent to not at least mention that there was the exchange right there. It wasn't as one-sided as the report that particular article made it sound. So just something else to add to the discussion along the way. Got to remind you about the folks over at neurojust.com, neurojust.com. Had Jordan on not long ago talking about Neurojust. I highly, highly recommend going to talk1073.com and checking out that conversation. What is Neurojust? Well, they're here for you if you battle with anxiety and depression. If you suffer from anxiety and depression, and you find that, face-to-face therapy and or prescription drugs aren't for you. If you don't see the effects from the prescriptions that you want, if you find diminishing returns, addiction, side effects, whatever the case might be, Neurojust offers transcranial magnetic stimulation. TMS therapy is what they call it. FDA approved, completely non-invasive. You sit down for it's magnetic stimulation, basically sending magnetic waves into the parts of your brain that you would take on that constant fight or flight. And that constant fight or flight, when it's constant, it is exhausting. And that's that's how anxiety turns into depression, and you just can never calm the seas within your mind. That's what they do over at Neurojust. Check them out at neurojust.com, Neurojust, neurojust.com. Starting to pay a little more attention to Tropical Storm Erin right now out in the Atlantic. Erin is making its way eastward right now as a tropical storm. Will likely remain a tropical storm till about probably the 4 p.m. numbers tomorrow afternoon. And then will escalate to a hurricane and might become a major hurricane by Sunday. Now, where is Erin going? It's still too far to tell. It's still too far out to tell. It's kind of headed towards the Bahamas, but there's some levels of high pressure in the Atlantic that could steer it northward sooner than that. You don't want to make predictions this far out. I'm sure we're less than 24 hours from the internet telling us that Erin is the next Katrina, which, by the way, we're not 2 weeks away from the anniversary of Katrina. We're right at 2 weeks away. Nope, Friday will be 2 weeks away from the 20th anniversary of Hurricane Katrina. So this is the time of year where we do start to see more and more action within the hurricane season. So we will, of course, be dialed in should anything come our way. And don't forget to check out the Demco Stormwatch page over at talk1073.com. In fact, along with Erin, there is another disturbance that's headed for the Bay of Campeche right now. It's only got a 20% chance of becoming a named storm, though. But you know what? One eye on everything happening out there. We are heads up 7 o'clock. Time to check news, traffic, and weather. Hour 2 is next. I gotta hustle my ass to get everything done, so I don't have to come back here after our after our quarterly meeting. I would like to be done and out. Swing by Home Depot. I gotta pick up a piece for my bathroom faucet.
Yeah.
It's got like a split stream. We get real bad calcium backup in our water lines.
So what do you have to get? Like the little screen that?
Yeah,
Or is there something
a,
like
a new screen that goes underneath it because the old one like busted, so the backup is like contained in between two screens. Sucks. But I think tomorrow's lineup is already set. I know we just had Mike Strain on, but he was pushed back last month.
Okay.
Tomorrow's the second Thursday of the month. Mike Strain.
Okay.
Mike is back. Back again. I'm Cal. Oh, I got to give you a phone number for the 7:15 segment.
Okay. Now send it to me, or you want me to mute the mic?
Mute the mic.
Mic's back on.
Yeah. 7:05 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP. Mornings with Brian Haldane rolling right along. Hour 2 coming your way right now. Brian here with you, JP producing. We're holding at 77 degrees in downtown Baton Rouge. Got to love that. You heard the forecast from EKC right there. We are, another hot one today. That's, I'll take every ounce of rain. It actually hasn't been bad in the afternoons. When those clouds roll through, like these are times where August can be unbearable, right? If you don't have cloud cover, if you don't have the lazy shower or even the hard, the shower on steroids. If you don't have that, then, it'll stay 98, 99, 100 with that heat index around 112, 113. You can get in your car in a parking lot and it'll say 128, But when you have those showers roll through, man, it's borderline pleasant to knock the temperature down. Now, it's scary to see, the temperature drop 20, 25 degrees in a matter of minutes. It's going to creep back up once the rain has rolled through. But I'll take it. There's never a day where I'm going to argue with that. Busy hour this hour. Allison Traxler from Casa is going to join us at 7:35. Coming up on our next segment, what happens when you take 5 ports along the Mississippi River? These 5 lions along the Mississippi River and combine their forces. You get Voltron. If you had an animated series in the 80s, that's what you'd get. But here in real life, it's just an awesome marketing strategy, and the whole being greater than the sum of its parts. Julia Fisher-Cormier is going to talk with us in our next segment about the plan to make sure we are maximizing our port system in Louisiana. Right now, though, we start you off with top stories and trending.
Number 5.
All right, let me know over on Facebook Live. Am I really dating myself with the Voltron reference? We're on Facebook Live
not
every day.
really. I don't think you're alone in that.
Well, courtesy of the folks at Lake Urgent Care. They put us up on Facebook Live, YouTube Live. In fact, all our demand stuff is courtesy of Lake Urgent Care as well. But you don't think?
Like for me, it would be the Megazord.
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
So it's just no. I think more people can relate to the Voltron than the
All right.
Megazord.
All right.
So I think you're good there.
Okay. What were we on, number 5?
Yes.
Go Seb. Governor's Office of Homeland Security and Emergency Preparedness announced a $350,000 grant for safety and security upgrades to be split among 7 East Baton Rouge Parish schools. La Belle Air Elementary, McKinley Middle, Claiborne Elementary, Belle Air High, Park Elementary, Southeast Middle, and Glen Oaks High will get $50,000 apiece for various improvements.
Number 4.
A popular bridge in St. George along Tiger Bend Road has been closed unexpectedly. Residents now who normally have that along their route have to take a 2-mile detour. Their detour includes Creek Hollow Road around to Feather Nest Lane.
Number 3.
U.S. Supreme Court will revisit our congressional map here in Louisiana and whether or not the latest map violates the 14th and 15th Amendments. It's Louisiana versus Calais. The Attorney General's office already put out a press release saying that they'll be open to interviews as soon as they've completed their argument that they have to turn in a couple weeks. So we already look forward to that. Basically, here's the long and the short of it. We were told that we had to create a second majority minority district. That took Garrett Graves' district right here in the Baton Rouge area and made it cover this weird gerrymandered area from Shreveport all the way down to Baton Rouge, parts of Alexandria and Lafayette mixed in, and it had to be drawn this way to create a second black majority district. So was race the only determining factor in building this district out? That's what the Supreme Court's going to look at.
Number 2.
Talked about this in Legally Served. A man arrested for the 2021 death of a Zachary homeowner was found guilty of reduced charges and sentenced to probation yesterday. 34-year-old Desmond Hamilton was shot and killed in his home. Police said that 17-year-old Nicholas McQuarter climbed through the second story of Hamilton's home with a gun, by the way, to see Hamilton's 14-year-old daughter. McQuarter, now 21 years old, pleaded guilty to negligent homicide and illegal use of a weapon. He originally had faced second-degree murder charges before yesterday's plea.
Number 1.
Funeral arrangements are set for Sergeant Caleb Eisworth. Had Police Chief T.J. Morse on with us yesterday. He said it was likely going to be Saturday about 9 o'clock. Sure enough, now that it's set, etched in stone. Saturday, 9 a.m. Visitation will begin at 9 on Saturday, August 16th at Estruma Baptist Church. It will be followed by a funeral service at noon. Eisworth will be buried at Green Oaks Funeral Home and Memorial Park after the service. What's trending, JP?
Well, members of the Washington, D.C. National Guard have reported for duty across the nation's capital on August 12th under President Donald Trump's orders to fight crime and reduce homelessness in the city.
I get it. It's the city that the president has to live in right now because he's the president, right?
Yeah.
And he sees the homeless camps set up. They got to drive. The motorcade goes past a bunch of tents and whatnot. You hear reports of where crime's at, but crime numbers versus crime anecdotally are two different things. We talk about it all the time on this show.
Yes.
Am I safe versus do I feel safe? And perception becomes reality. And at the same time, two things can be true at the same time. You can have the lowest crime numbers ever and still have a crime problem.
Oh, absolutely.
But it's just weird for the president of the United States, the leader of the free world, to be taking on the role of top cop in the nation's capital. It's to be calling in the National Guard. It's weird to hear Caroline Leavitt at a White House press conference. She's going to be talking about Vladimir Putin and Volodymyr Zelensky and a meeting that's supposed to happen over in Alaska. She's going to be talking about solving wars.
That's right.
And ticketing someone for possession with intent to distribute. These two things don't belong on the same level. I don't want to turn to the White House press secretary if I have a street light out on Goodwood.
Right.
Like, you see where we have levels here.
We gave out 15 parking tickets this morning.
Here. Hey, Mr. President, if Aaron becomes a hurricane and heads this way, where can I get sandbags? Like, there's levels here. That's the top.
Oh, man.
Keep them there at the top. Things can be beneath your pay grade.
They could be.
Could be.
Hey, well, fake news reared its head yesterday as rumors swirled on social media that Odell Beckham Jr. was retiring.
Yeah.
FWIW, the latest, the LSU great, tweeted that he's not done yet.
It wasn't an unreasonable thing to buy in on.
Right.
When the fake news came out yesterday, it wasn't unreasonable to bite on that one.
Yeah.
because OBJ, Honey Badger just retired.
Yep.
You're talking same generation. You're talking same era.
That's right.
Glad he's not done, though. I just every ounce we can get out of our LSU athletes on the pro level, let's get it.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yes, indeed. Hey,
Besides, we don't need Odell Beckham Jr. with more time on his hands.
I mean, hey, Paramount has secured U.S. TV rights to UFC in a $7.7 billion deal, leaving ESPN behind.
Just in time for the fight on the White House lawn.
I'm telling you.
We're talking about things that feel like a step down.
Man.
Although I will say this, though. I would rather hear the White House press secretary handing things off to Dana White to talk about a fight on the lawn
Oh, yeah.
than hear the White House press secretary talk about arrests were made for possession with intent to distribute.
Oh, man.
I don't know.
Yeah, and apparently this, I know we're kind of doing this anecdotally, but yeah, if you haven't heard, I mean, there will be apparently a fight on the lawn.
Yeah.
On the 4th of July.
Yep.
Apparently Dana White meets with President Trump on August 28th.
I love this.
They're really taking
Can you imagine if you're a fighter right now, the thought of making that card?
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Yes, indeed. Apparently they're looking to do it on the White House grounds.
Do it.
With upwards of 20,000 spectators to celebrate.
How you going to fit 20,000 people on the White House lawn?
See, that's what I'm wondering.
How you going to vet 20,000 people?
Right. In celebration of 250 years of American independence.
Bro.
Here we go. Dana White says it's absolutely going to happen.
Oh, God.
Think about that, he says.
No.
The 250th birthday of the United States of
I don't want to
America.
think about it. I don't want, because as much as I love the idea, you've got to realize that this is everything that's right and everything that's wrong with the country in the same card.
Yes.
Like everything that's right, everything that's like 250 years of independence. Brought to you by Monster Energy. Like it's
Here we go. Yeah, apparently they're going to do it on the South Lawn, live on CBS, which CBS is actually a flagship extension of Paramount.
right.
So, yeah. Oh, man. We're here for it. We're here for it. Will we go live on 107.3 with the...
Can we carry the?
Yeah, can we carry the fight?
Okay, Kane, look up the radio rights on this one. I want it right here.
There we go.
Hey, Moscoda's going to fight for it because he's a UFC guy.
Yes, here we go.
We'll simulcast. I don't care. I'll share
Do
it.
it.
7:15 Talk 107.3 FM. Let's talk ports next. Shit, I was supposed to do a live read there. Hello. Oh, it's good
we
stuff.
Have to be. We have to be.
We're gonna have. I mean, there's gonna be fights on the White House lawn. They're gonna vet 20,000 people to get them behind that fence.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right here. It's like, oh man,
More people
yeah.
than attend a Tulane football game are gonna be on the White House lawn because any shot I could take at Tulane football. Oops.
yes. Trump said last month he wanted to stage a UFC match on the White House grounds with upwards of 20,000 spectators to celebrate 250 years of American independence.
No.
Wow. That's it.
Right.
There we go. There we go. Man.
We've also been corporate shills since then, so. Okay. Well, you're like super early. You're not till 7:35, right? Oh, sorry. I want to build a wake-up call into my, just part of the service. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Cormier, yes. 717 Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP, Mornings with Brian Haldane rolling right along. So you got the Port of Greater Baton Rouge, the Louisiana Gateway Port, Port Nola, Port of South Louisiana, and the St. Bernard Port. What happens when you pull them all together? Well, we welcome in Julia Fisher Cormier to talk about that. Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing well. Good morning, Brian. Exciting time in Louisiana.
Absolutely it is. So we're going to get into all the why and what brought this together in a little bit, but just tell me what this means for our port system in South Louisiana.
Sure. I mean, we're really lucky lately. Our legislators and our governor have really taken a keen interest in our ports, recognized that they're so important to Louisiana. His transition team shared some things that were really important to us and important to the legislature and created this commission, Louisiana Ports and Waterways Investment Commission. So this initiative is one of the first of many that's going to come out of this commission. So these 5 collaborating together means so much to Louisiana. In my lifetime, as long as most can recollect, there really has not been an effort where the 5 have come together in this fashion. And it just positions us really to compete globally and compete with Texas and compete with Alabama and, just really show the world that the 256 miles of the Mississippi River that we've got deep water access to are unmatched.
Okay, was there something we weren't doing before that we will be doing now? I mean, where were we lagging when it came to selling our ports?
Sure. So my experience in ports, let's talk about dealing with the federal government. The federal government has several pots of money that are designed just for ports. Mm-hmm. And every year our ports would apply individually and very siloed and not always successful. And we were told by the federal government, Louisiana is very disjointed in its efforts. Louisiana somewhat competes with itself. If you guys would be a little more unified in your approach, you'd probably be more successful in harnessing federal dollars to get infrastructure improvements. So that was one of the takeaways that we used as our directive and used as our guide to not only show the world how great we are when we're competing for prospects, but also competing for money. So, they were not doing that. And, they all agree that they are stronger together. 256 miles of the Mississippi River definitely sounds better than, 54 miles of the Mississippi River individually for one port. So, yeah.
Yes, it absolutely does. We're talking with Julia Fisher Cormier about the merging of efforts when it comes to the 5 deepwater ports in South Louisiana. I've got to ask you, as here in Baton Rouge, we're the farthest north of these. Is there a reason for concern that we might get squeezed out?
There is no attempt or effort to combine ports at this time.
Okay.
There are some states that have one port complex or one port commission for the entire state. We still feel, and the governor as well, and the legislature as well, each one of our ports, we've got 41 in the whole state actually, each one of our ports has its own infrastructure, it has its own strengths. And we want each port to continue running itself because nobody knows that port better than that port and that port director. But to combine efforts when it comes to marketing or when it comes to maybe, like I said, trying to harness some federal dollars, that's when we can come together. But if we have a plan, it makes things easier for those ports to work together easily.
Okay, now let's get into it. What does the plan look like?
So these 5 ports have come together. This commission that I mentioned that came from the legislature gave directives, said unify our port when it comes to their efforts, organize our port, give our ports the resources they need to get organized, and strategize our port investment. So this is the strategized piece of that. These ports coming together can show each one of their individual strengths and draws, whether it be oil and gas, agriculture, manufacturing. What do we have now that others can maybe piggyback on, capitalize on? Show the land that is available. Show the connectivity. Our connectivity in Louisiana really is unmatched when it comes to all 4 modes of transportation, and then show our workforce is unmatched. So this is a place for us to really, in a sense, it's going to be a very sophisticated advertising plan. We're going to have some things to show other countries. We're going to have things to show other states that really spell out each 5 and what their strengths are and what their connectivity is. Because let's be honest, when cargo comes in one way, it usually leaves another. So if it comes in on the river at one port terminal, it could very possibly leave out of a truck and end up at a different port facility. They do have synergies, and we've got to show the world that.
Okay, so does that mean, like, each individual port is going to be more specialized along the way?
Not that they will change what they do. We're going to show their specialties now, because this is how it exists as we speak today. Each port is very different. You go down to the Port of New Orleans, that's our only cruise port. I mean, you can't bring the cruise ship up to the Port of Baton Rouge. And then Port of South Louisiana, for example, has 7 of the 9 grain terminals in the state. So clearly they're our ag port, right? And it doesn't mean those other 4 ports can't do those things, but if we're going to have a quick jump to where is our ag in our 5 lower Mississippi River ports, we know we'd go to Port of South Louisiana. So that's just one example.
Let me re-ask that question. With this new plan, is there room to find that one port might be better at something that they weren't originally thinking they were going to be good at?
Absolutely.
There you go.
Yeah, we won't box anybody out of any industry that they could potentially add to their portfolio. Absolutely.
We're talking with Julia Fisher Cormier, the Commissioner of the Office of Multimodal Commerce. I love that title, by the way. Multimodal Commerce. It's because it spells out exactly what we're talking about here. You bring something from the other side of the world, and then now how do you take it off of one vehicle and put it on a different one? I mean, that's not to oversimplify it, but that's kind of what goes on. Timeline-wise, map this out for me a little bit. Like, how long will it take to get all of our ducks in a row? How long will it take to start spreading the word?
So, again, we've really put this initiative in the hands of the 5 ports. And I just have to give a quick thank you, not only to Secretary Bourgeois and LED for their help and assistance through this, but the chairman of this subcommittee, the 5 Lower Mississippi River Committee, is chaired by Joe Toomey. He has brought them together, put them on his back, and tried to carry them to the finish line. I don't know exactly how long they're going to take to finish. I think they just contracted with the firm about 2 weeks ago. I envision this is probably going to be a 30 to 90-day effort to really have something tangible to start showing people.
And how do we start selling it?
Well, again, I mentioned LED. And if we want to talk about rocking and rolling, $60 billion in private investment since our governor's been in office is very notable. They need the tools to help us. LED is traveling around the world. LED is entertaining suitors for Louisiana. They have to have the right information. So paired with those individuals at the port, I think LED and my office will be crucial to continuing to bring in the right businesses.
Got just a couple minutes left with Julia Fisher Cormier talking about the combining efforts of the 5 deepwater ports in Louisiana. You mentioned about New Orleans and cruises, and which one was it you said had the grain elevators?
Port of South Louisiana.
South Louisiana. What's Baton Rouge good at?
Baton Rouge has a lot of aggregate. There's a lot of construction material that comes through there, and I know everyone from Baton Rouge recognizes those domes, and those domes are actually far more important than you realize. In the maritime industry, domes are sought after. They're definitely, something that sets a port apart and makes it special when it comes to the storage and the functionality of the port. So, yeah. There's some, of course, the Port of Baton Rouge goes all the way to Ascension. So if you move outside of the actual port complex in Greater Baton Rouge, you've got Ascension, which I mentioned that $60 billion in investment, a huge chunk of it's there. So I would say Port of Greater Baton Rouge is definitely expanding its portfolio to speak to the oil and gas industry and speak to petrochem, the manufacturing efforts as well.
Julia Fisher Cormier, copying off my notes right here, because that's exactly where I was going next. When you talk about what's going on in Donaldsonville right now, how does growth play into an evolving marketing strategy?
Well, growth, I talked about selling the things that were already here. Oftentimes, they're feeder systems. Mm-hmm. One type of industry wants to come and be next to another because they utilize feedstock from each other. Establishing some new industry in Ascension is going to bring even more interest in the area, of course. And it just shows that, there is room to expand physically. So I think that's something that will definitely be notable in this marketing strategy. Ascension will be mentioned, and I do think there's going to be a lot more interest there continuing.
Not to get too specific on this, and not to create an enemies list or anything like that, But who are we going after here? Who are we looking to? And you alluded to it a little bit earlier, like on general terms. But the business that could be available, like, give us some examples of where that other business might be.
Well, I'll tell you first where the interest is coming from. We didn't just pull our pull our ideas out of the sky. LED has a strategic plan, which if you haven't read, I will implore you, it is a good read. The strategic plan spells out several sectors that Louisiana is good at already or has room to grow in, based on market studies, based on economists, based on just simple geography. And so there are several sectors that we should expand upon based on a strategic plan. I mentioned agribusiness.
Yeah.
That's one of their sectors. Warehousing. Of course, there's a petrochem element to it. It's nothing that's terribly new, and it's nothing that's from anywhere that we haven't already kind of done business with. It's just we need to ramp it up. There's been a lot of interest from Korea. I think that has a lot to do with our tariff situation. But the Koreans, we've had several different announcements with some Korean businesses, and I think there's a reason for that for sure, and I think it's on the federal level. But I just think we need to continue to look at what we do, improve upon it, and expand some of these things that are already here. And we'll use that roadmap that LED's given us.
The tariff situation is one piece of this, but I don't want to undersell Susan Bourgeois' work in cultivating that relationship before tariffs became a thing.
I'll second that.
Yeah, she has worked hard on that front, to be sure, to make sure that we're all good and friendly before the tariffs drop the hammer.
Agree. I can't thank Secretary Bourgeois enough, not only for her leadership there, but really just pushing this whole of government approach. You heard me mention Secretary Bourgeois. You heard me mention a former Port of New Orleans commissioner, 5 Lower Mississippi River Ports. We've got our chairman, Mark Hebert, who chairs Louisiana Ports and Waterways Investment Commission. This is an effort that is collaborative at its top level. And Susan is leading that charge, and we appreciate every minute of it. And I think we're moving in the right direction.
Same here. Second that. And thank you so much for a couple minutes this morning. She is Julia Fisher Cormier, Commissioner of the Office of Multimodal Commerce. As this thing evolves, I want to check in a little bit because we're going to have new benchmarks, new goals along the way. I'm sure we will see, jobs that are promised and infrastructure being built out. We'll want to check in with you in the future.
Wonderful. Thanks for having me, Brian.
Of course. Thank you so much. I mean, so Voltron was one way to go. And you're combining the efforts. You're not fighting amongst each other. This isn't the 5 families. This isn't the Gambinos, the Bananos, the Genoveses, the Columbos, and Lucchese's. This is rattled off the 5 families right there. Yeah. All right. We got a break. We're talking Casa next. Traxler.
It is an X.
Whatever you want, Allison. Fish, F-I-S-H. Am I here? No. I don't know about that.
As the executive director, too. Been here 4 months. I will say this, the numbers of foster children has risen a
Really?
lot. It used to be 5,000, and now our scoop sheet says over 7,000 children experienced abuse or neglect, and we always said 5,000. It's pretty sad.
That is sad.
There's no foster families, and then I printed this. Look at us. We have 331 in foster care. That's the number of children right now. This is the state. 4,358 children are in foster care in the state of Louisiana.
How many?
4,358.
Oh, I do need to steal 60 seconds on the front end.
You can. It's your
thank
show. We'll allow it. I sent these. I don't know if you got them, like some random.
This is is what.
Just who we are.
Mhm.
Okay.
And we're all. Well, I mean, our mics aren't on yet, but we're always on Facebook Live. So. Till 7:50. Oh, it'll be no, it'll be closer to 10. 'Cause yeah, we just came out of traffic. There should be 2 minutes of spots, 45 seconds of weather, and then I'm going to use a minute to remind folks about Matherns. He just likes to point out that I have terrible handwriting. No, it's not. It is. It is that. No. It's 100% that. Seven 736 Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP, mornings with Brian Haldane, rolling right along. We've got Dalton Fish and Allison Traxler from CASA in with us in just a second. I do need to remind you about the folks over at Matherns. Let's tell you about the Matherns app because the deals change every week. The coupons change every week. And $1 here, $1 there, it does start to add up as you dip into your grocery bill. For example, this week right now, one of the latest deals they got, bag of Blue Runner red beans, 79 cents for a 1 pound bag. You got the Food Club bottled water, half-liter bottles. Those are going to be 75 cents off. And it stacks up like that, right? $2 off a bag of Char King charcoal briquettes. Paper plates are on sale. You got sugar on sale. You got glazed donuts on sale. Hello. If you've got the Matherns Rewards app, these are already built into your phone, right? Every single week they will refresh within your phone. And if you visit Matherns downtown on 3rd Street, Nicholson Gateway Shopping Center across the street from Tiger Stadium, or back in the OG location, Highland Road, just west of Kenilworth, you're good to go at any of the locations, earning cash towards more groceries every time you shop and taking advantage of all the deals available at Mathern's. All right. It's just about Casas for Casa time. I mean, that's like right around the corner. Let's welcome in Dalton and Allison. How y'all doing this morning? Let's get y'all right up on them. Right,
We're good.
Scooch on in a little bit.
Thanks for having us.
Not glad to have you all on this morning. Let's before we get into the fundraiser and all that, let's start with the reset button about just what Casa is, how y'all came to be, what you do.
So Casa is a nationwide program. Our program will be 32 years old in August this month, and it stands for Court-Appointed Special Advocates. These are individuals who are highly trained to stand up and speak on behalf of a foster child in court.
That is, it sounds very specialized, but it's a little bit more general than that when it comes to who can be a special advocate. Who are y'all looking for when it comes to advocates?
Anybody with a caring heart. All the requirements that you have to be over the age of 21, have to pass a background check, and everybody does go through a pre-service training that's about 32 hours. And once you do become a CASA, it's not like we leave you out there on your own. You are with an advocate supervisor every step of the way. So a CASA person who is on staff, and they help you through the entire process.
Let's talk process a little bit when someone steps in to be an advocate, and it's good to tear down that wall up front. When you hear court appointed and you hear advocate, you think it immediately like got to be a lawyer. Not the case. So someone who cares steps up. Walk us through the process and what it looks like when they are speaking on behalf of a child in need.
So a CASA volunteer has full access to everything that's going on in that child's life. They can speak to teachers, to counselors. They can
Pull a little bit.
Go
closer.
to doctor's appointments, and so they're gathering information. They're putting together a packet of information to present to the judge around every 6 months through a court report. So the CASA volunteers, once they're sworn in, they accept a case. We ask them to stick with that case for at least a year because we don't want another adult to walk out of these children's lives. They have preference if they want a child that's a toddler, if they want a teenager. We have a waiting list of about 100 children, so we can pretty much find something that would pull at your heartstrings. We expect that they spend about 6 hours a month, and that's not just with the child, but they are required to see their CASA kiddos once every 30 days. Our program is one of 18 in the state, and we're allowed to have our CASAs drive the children in their car. So they can take them to a movie, they can pick them up and do a sibling visit, they can take them to appointments, to therapy. So our CASAs really become a very trusted, caring adult in this child's life who just wants what's in the best interest for this child to find a safe, permanent, and stable home.
What happens after a year?
Most cases go longer than a year. Of course, if someone says, I'm ready to exit, I would say there is very few people that after a year say, after all this work, I'm out.
Right.
They say, I'm seeing this through until this child is either adopted, reunited, or provided guardianship with a grandparent. So most are lasting 2 years. We don't want to sugarcoat that, but our two judges, Judge Haney and Judge Grover, give parents a lot of time to get their lives back on track because that's their child, and most people want their child back.
No, absolutely. We're talking with Allisa Trayler and Dalton Fish from CASA. We're going to talk about Casas for Casa in just another minute, but I want to talk about that need, that overall need. The level of demand is huge. You mentioned there's a waiting list of over 100 kids, but broadening this out statewide, this is huge.
Yes. We get the foster care numbers just about every day, and in the state of Louisiana, there's 4,358 children in foster care, and there are so few foster homes. So we really advocate alongside the Department of Children and Family Services to help find foster families as well. We do a lot of recruitment together, and so if someone says, I can't foster, we're like, hey, maybe you could be a CASA. It's kind of a first step into this world of, court and all these different jargon that you'll learn. I like to say if you like to figure things out or you're kind of a crime junkie sleuth person, this would be a great opportunity for you because you're putting together a lot of pieces that are missing for the judge.
Okay.
So Think about it that way. It's very specialized.
Okay, yeah, I could definitely see that as, I mean, not necessarily a motivator,
Right.
but definitely something that if you get a knack for it, it's something that it's a skill set right there. But speaking along those lines, of course, if anyone can be a CASA, but who is the normal demo to step up?
Really, it's anyone. We have CASAs that are 21 up to 80 years old. We're always looking for men. We have a lot of young males who don't have a influence of a male in their life. We have attorneys, which you don't have to be one. We have teachers. Most of our CASAs work full time. I think that's a myth that people think, oh, well, you have to be a stay-at-home mom whose kids have flown the nest, and that's not really true. If you're organized and you can make phone calls during the day, or you have time to be on a Zoom, you can be a CASA.
Last year, how'd y'all do?
We did pretty well. We in East Baton Rouge, there's usually 400 children in foster care. We served 331 of those children. We had 184 CASAs, active CASA volunteers. We are, if not the biggest standalone program in the state, we might be number 2. But we used to serve, before COVID, every child who needed a CASA had one. So we're trying to pick up from the COVID years. I know everyone's, COVID fatigue of everything's blamed on that. But a lot of times you have to go in other people's homes. You have to be around children. You have to see people face to face. So if people were worried about, that, then they weren't going to sign up.
Understood.
Obviously.
Understood. We got a couple minutes left with Allisa Trayler and Dalton Fish talking about CASA. Let's pivot over a little bit. A lot of folks have probably heard of the CASAs for CASA. Dial us in on the fundraiser.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's actually coming up next Thursday, August 21st from 6 to 9 p.m. And it's at Red Stick Social right here in downtown. And we have Mexican food provided by Superior. We'll have live music by Wayne Guitro. And then we also do have a big silent auction that we do as well, and a giant wine pool with about 300 bottles of wine.
Ooh.
So, yeah.
That's a lot of wine.
$20 for a bottle of wine.
That's a lot of wine.
Yeah, but it's a lot of fun. We raise a big bulk of our funds at this event yearly. So, yeah, and we usually have around 400 people at this event. So,
when the event rolls around, and it is within itself a fundraiser, but it's also a people raiser as well. It's a great chance to, if you've kind of been on the fence thinking this might be something that I want to get into, this is a great introductory area to dive in and say, okay, I'm going to put my foot in the water, talk to some other folks face to face, in person, and get the real deal, get the real scoop one-on-one.
yes, absolutely. And we have plenty of tickets left for the event as well, too, and they are only $60.
$60 for the tickets. Where do they get them?
You can get them at casabr.org, and we have a link on our website to the Fiesta page.
Let's go back to, and we'll dive back in on those details before we get out of here as well. But I want to go back to what's needed right now, like the stack of need that you've got there. You said 100 children on the waiting list. How what are reasonable goals along the way? I mean, a 1-to-1 ratio obviously would be like the ideal here, but as we're working our way, like you said, out of COVID and whatnot, what are we looking for? What's needed right now?
Well, always we need new CASA volunteers, but we have other opportunities where you can get involved, either through having us come and speak at your office, your church, a civic group.
Yeah.
Just spreading the word. We would go to events. We might talk to 50 people. If we get one CASA volunteer, it's a success.
Yeah.
But we have campaigns throughout the year. We get school supplies. We have a hygiene closet for. You might have a grandmother that gets 4 children overnight, and she doesn't have the means to go out and buy all new hair products and diapers and baby wipes. And so we have a closet we're always looking to fill. We did a big project to collect luggage for children. Most kids pack up in a black garbage bag and like trash. And so we did a big project with Grace, a chemical company, to raise money and an Amazon wish list to provide rolling suitcases for about 100 children. So that's on our website as well. So we're kind of always in a collection mode of things that are, just basic needs for foster kids.
Well, but just the heartening is the need is there. The thought that y'all are outside the box enough to come up with the different ways to serve the different needs that are out there. One of the things in the notes that I was reading was 43,000 miles driven by volunteers last year. That's a pretty amazing number. Whether you talk about just spending time with the kid, getting to know the kid, or those court appointments themselves. 5,700 man hours of time just in the last year alone. All these stats just really ring out to, if nothing else, for those who are in it, for those who are volunteering right now, y'all have some pretty amazing people.
We do. We have a couple of CASAs who've been there with us for 22 years.
Mm-hmm.
They've had 17 or 18 cases. They take a little break and they come back.
Yeah.
They've made it a lifelong commitment. We just graduated a class. You get sworn in of 17 people. We start a new class on September 11th. It's a 3-day boot camp. We're trying some new things that people can come in and do 3 8-hour days in a row.
Okay.
And some of the learning is on the front end by yourself with a Google Classroom.
Mm-hmm.
So we kind of playing around with how we can get people in to do the training based on their life and what their work schedules are.
Food from Superior Grill, silent auction, wine pull. You said Red Stick Social, right? Red Stick Social coming up on August 21st. Give me the website again.
CasaBR.org.
CasaBR.org. Tickets are just $60 if you want to get in on this. Is there a max? Is there a cap on?
Nope.
Okay.
Get
Get over there to CasaBR.org right now. Casas for Casa Fiesta. It is just about that time. Count it down. In the meanwhile, just a parting message as we head to break.
I would say just in our community, we have increased the number of children who are abused and neglected. If you could find it in your heart to try to help one child, you can change that child's life. You can change their story. And that's what we're looking for with CASA volunteers.
Allisa Trayler and Dalton Fish from CASA. Thank you all so much for a couple minutes this morning.
Thank you. We appreciate it.
Absolutely. Coming up on 750 at Talk 107.3 FM WBRP. We are nowhere near done, though. We're going to check your money now in just a second. When we come back, we're going to hear from some audio from Dr. Ralph Abraham. In our next hour, Councilman Darryl Hurst is going to be in at 8:15. Congresswoman Julia Letlow at 8:35. Right now, here is your money now. Thank you all. Greatly, greatly appreciate it. the chattery. Mm. Oh. 7:55 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP mornings with Brian Haldane rolling right along. Just getting caught up with some of the comments over there in the chat. The glorified crew sounding off on a number of different topics this morning. Galen asked a question that goes back to our top stories and trending about the president calling in the National Guard into Washington D.C. I think he brought up an unexpected or unintentional point here. Galen says, "How is Trump's involvement in D.C.'s lawlessness any different from Governor Landry's involvement in New Orleans?" Well, it's different because when you are within a state, we are the United States of America. So wouldn't the governor of the state be the one in charge? And that's where you run into a problem because D.C. kicks up to the White House. It doesn't kick up to a state. That's what makes them unique. That's what makes that a unique situation. That being said, it's still weird. It's still weird to turn to the president of the United States to fight street crime. We got a lot of ground to cover here. We'll get back in the chat in just a little bit. But before we move on, I want to remind you about the folks over at BREC, B-R-E-C, BREC.org. BREC.org is your home base to find out about everything that our parish's recreational department has to offer. In fact, it's not just about the parks themselves. They've got a calendar of events that is just chock-a-block full all the time. You want to talk about, like, okay, what's today? The 13th? Let's bump ahead to the 15th. You got the Sunshine Social Fan Fest. Also on the 15th, you got Senior Day out at Liberty Lagoon. August, September. What's coming up in September that's highlighting things? Oh, Brew at the Zoo will be coming up in September. The Womack Art Open House, September 13th. It's like whatever you're into, BREC has got you covered. Whether it's, adult leisure classes or organized sports or individual sports. BREC.org is your home base right there. I am was frantically scrambling through my stack of papers here to make sure I can go in the next direction. Looking to get Ralph Abraham on with us probably early next week. The rest of this week is actually already booked up. But our Louisiana Surgeon General believes that preventing SNAP recipients, and you heard the story in news at the bottom of the hour, preventing SNAP recipients from using their food stamps to purchase soft drinks, energy drinks, and candy will make for a healthier Louisiana. The new policy won't go into effect until January, but Abraham says a good portion of government assistance is going towards the purchase of those items.
Up to 20% of SNAP benefits were being spent on the things you just mentioned that are now or will be banned.
Abraham says the big concern is that SNAP recipients are using their government assistance to buy their children soda and candy.
We don't correct that child eating habits, getting a better lifestyle, then 100% of the time there's going to be bad health outcomes downrange for that poor child.
Yeah, I get it. This is one that always jams me up a little bit because a 2-liter of Coke costs about a third of a gallon of milk. Price-wise. You multiply a 2-liter of Coke by 3, you're going to get a gallon of milk. It's just cheaper. Now, if you really want to break that down, water is cheaper, and the water out of the tap here in Baton Rouge is phenomenal. So, yeah, you've got me on that front, right? As far as the candy's concerned, I would want an even further breakdown to find out. Are we tilting at windmills here? Abraham says that candy and soda are high in sugar and too much of it. That becomes a bad thing.
We all have to have a little bit of sugar to maintain our metabolism, but to your point, a little good is good, a lot's not by any stretch of the means.
Now, I get that, and we do have a problem with obesity and diabetes and heart disease in this state. We do have a problem with just being fat and lazy overall. But I don't know. We'll get him on probably early next week to talk about this at further length. Right now, let's get you to hour 3. Go for it, man. All right. Kimberly says, I didn't even realize Baton Rouge had a port that's being utilized so much. That's cool. Yeah, those domes, I would like to double or triple the amount of them. And we'll find use for them, for sure. Absolutely. And we have a grain elevator here, too. So... Why are you humming that? I was down a marching band rabbit hole last night. Yeah. So, my high school, St. Paul's. This was at Bacchus a couple of years ago. Bunch of white boys from the North Shore. That's what we do, boss. A lot of marching going on before that. They're still lining up because they dance too. Yeah, it started with I was looking at some stuff to do before football season. And so I was looking up videos of like LSU's drum line and whatnot. Like I don't want to play like the songs like the day before football season. I don't want to do like the stuff you're going to hear in Tiger Stadium.
Yeah.
And then I went down this whole rabbit hole and like I had this whole bit planned out. And then I realized that the day before football season is the anniversary of Katrina, and the whole show is going to be about that.
Oh yeah.
But now I really got to rethink if I want to do a whole show on that. So
Leave it to the 8 o'clock hour.
yeah, I'm thinking like I might do the whole. It's going to be weird to transition from the heaviest shit ever
Yeah.
to neck. You know?
Yeah.
But like I can't ignore us playing Clemson. But at
Right.
the same time, though, I don't know. We're gonna bail on Katrina at 8 o'clock for sure.
That's 2 hours. That's a solid. That's
Yeah.
That's solid.
Yeah, and I'm reaching out to like some unusual cast of characters.
Okay, Manny Fresh. No.
No, my first call is going to be to WWL's Dave Cohen,
Okay. Yeah.
and
that makes sense.
I want him. I've never talked to him about this since, but I want him to tell the story of walking into Clear Channel for that first time when United Radio Broadcasters first became a thing, and how he, his whole world collapsed. All the towers in New Orleans were torn down, and he was looking to get back up on the air in New Orleans. And there's this punk kid over here on the 5th floor who's standing in his way. I want him. I hope he remembers that story.
It's like, you're not getting through here, sir. Like, what are you talking about?
I'm taking over the station. You're not. Oh wait, yes you are. I apologize. Only the greatest natural disaster in the history of America.
Right.
My bad. Thus began the legacy of Brian being wrong.
Oh man.
806, Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP. Mornings with Brian Haldane, rolling right along. Hour 3 coming your way right now. Brian here with you, JP producing. Starting off the third hour at 80 degrees in downtown Baton Rouge. I did not realize. Well, you know what? We'll get to this in this day in history. But another anniversary snuck up on us. We'll talk about that in just a little bit. Hey, coming up this hour, Metro Councilman Darryl Hurst slated for 8:15. Congresswoman Julia Letlow at 8:35. Little DC Current presented by LABI. Before we get to this day in history, do want to remind you it's presented by the folks over at 5 Star Printing and Signs. 5 Star Printing and Signs, right there next to Big Mike's over in Denham Springs. Swing on by if you are in the area, and if you're not, check out printshop5.com. We are in a constant battle. If you're in business, you're in a constant battle to keep your name, to keep your brand, to keep your business front and center. If you're not in the game, you're falling behind. That's why making sure all your printed materials are uniform and up to par and putting your best foot forward. Whether you're talking about your brochures, whether you're talking about a restaurant menu, whether you're talking about your business cards, the signs in your window, being at your peak is awesome. But beyond that, the merch, man. Slapping your logo on a thermal mug. Slapping your logo on, I think Koozies a name brand, so we're not allowed to say that, but on a drink insulator. Or anything from golf tees to fishing lures to whatever it is you want to slap your logo on. Keep your business front and center. That's what Danny does better than anybody else out there. 271-4096 is his phone number. 271-4096 for 5 Star Printing and Signs, who brings you back in time. How far back we going?
You know what? I'm going to start in 1942.
No!
What do you have?
1571.
1571.
On 1521, excuse me. On this day in 1521, Spanish conquistador Hernan Cortez captured captured Mexico City.
Oh,
the
that is
fall of
important,
the
yeah.
Aztec Empire.
That is very
It
important.
wasn't called Mexico City then, by the way.
It wasn't?
No.
That came later?
Yeah.
Oh, man. 1942, the Manhattan Project commences
Sure.
under the direction of U.S. General Leslie Groves
Yeah.
with the aim of developing an atomic bomb.
Okay.
Oof. 1953, U.S. President Dwight Eisenhower establishes Government Contract Compliance Committee, responsible for ensuring that employers doing business with the federal government comply with the laws and regulations regarding non-discrimination.
All right.
1961, construction of the Berlin Wall begins in East Germany.
Really?
And music news here. 1973, Leonard Skinner releases his debut album.
Okay.
Debut album, Give Me 3 Steps, Simple Man, Tuesday's Gone, and Freebird. What?
It's a pretty
a
good combo.
list. Yeah.
Pretty good combo.
Man. People still yelling Freebird.
Yeah.
Let's see. 1990, American soul singer Curtis Mayfield becomes paralyzed from the neck down after stage lighting equipment falls on him at an outdoor concert in Brooklyn, New York.
Okay.
Although unable to perform live, he continues to compose, sing, and record. Wow. Man. Oof. Hey, 1996, Microsoft releases Internet Explorer 3.0.
Yeah?
Did that come on the disc?
Remember
the disc?
Yeah. So I'm into this new. I found a podcast called Business Wars.
Okay.
And I just got done with the America Online episode.
Oh.
The AOL
That
Time
seems
Warner
fascinating.
merger. It was I'm listening to podcasts about mergers. This is where I'm at in my life right now. I
Okay.
finished that one and I'm on to Elon Musk taking on Twitter.
That's it.
Yeah, Elon, and they're calling that episode "Flipping the Bird."
Oh,
The bird.
I like
Twitter,
that.
right?
Yeah.
Anyway, this is where I'm at right now. This is why there's no such thing as party like a talk star. Like there's just
This is the
podcasts about business.
Oh man. Yeah.
Oh, I might as well start taking a liking to sweet tea at this point.
Oh man. Wait, you don't have a liking to sweet tea?
Pepperidge Farm cookies. I don't know.
What do you
I don't know. It's
Oh man. 1997. South Park debuts on Comedy Central.
no kidding.
Yeah.
Screw you guys. I'm giving head.
That's it.
Yep.
That's it. I was way too young watching that. I
yeah.
shouldn't have been allowed to watch that.
Hey, we get the New Orleans mayor's race going on right now.
Yeah.
This day in 2007, Oliver Thomas resigned his city council seat down in New Orleans after pleading guilty to bribery charges.
Oof.
Yep.
Man.
This day in 2016, let me pull it back up. Hang on. This day in 2016 was the Great Flood of Baton Rouge. Today marks the 9th anniversary of the start of the Great Flood.
Oh.
Yep.
Wow.
13th was the start of it. I believe it rolled over for 2 more days before it got everybody,
Man.
or as many people as it was going to get. So,
Wow.
Yep.
Devastating.
Yep.
Let's see. Moving on to birthdays here.
Mhm.
Alfred Hitchcock. Why am I?
I
Hitchcock.
don't know.
Alfred Hitchcock. Why
Mhm.
am I? Yeah. Tongue tied over here.
Yeah.
Let's see. Who else we have? Another actor, John Slattery. Best known for his role as Roger Sterling Jr. in the series Mad Men. Were you a Mad Men?
Oh,
guy?
no. That's not where I know him from.
Oh, where do you know him from?
No, that great scene in Charlie Wilson's War, when Philip Seymour Hoffman is cursing the guy out in his office.
Yeah.
That's him.
That's the guy.
Slatter's
yeah.
the one that he's cursing out.
Oh,
Remember
man.
how Hoffman smashes his window with a hammer?
Yeah, man. Hey, David Bonaducci today as well.
Okay.
Last time you heard from that guy?
Never.
Oh, ever since his role in the Partridge Family.
Yeah.
Man. He was on VH1 for a little bit. Anyway, I digress. Let's see. Anything else on your end? Anyone else?
Yeah, we got golfer Ben
Worth noting.
Hogan was born on this day. While we're talking sports, I've got 2 more for you, but I've got to scroll back down right quick. Boogie Cousins, former Pelican center, now with the Nuggets, and LSU linebacker, former LSU linebacker, now with the Baltimore Ravens. Patrick Queen was born on this day in 1999.
All right. Yeah, saw that one as well. Let's see. Moving on to deaths here. Let's see. Florence Nightingale.
Yep.
Let's see. Julia Child.
Julia Child on that list, yes.
Yep. H.G. Wells.
Yeah. And Mickey Mantle.
Oh, there's Mickey Mantle. Okay. Well, I scroll down. I'm like, oh, there he is.
What
All right.
national day is it?
Left-Handers Day.
I'll take it. on behalf of all left-handers everywhere,
There
I
you
wish
go.
if there's anything I would ever want from TV to come true in real life,
Yes.
Ned Flanders' Leftorium.
Okay.
I would like I
Yeah.
would like to be able to go to the mall and go to a left-hander store.
Oh man.
So speaking on behalf of everybody who went through grade school with the pencil markings up their arm,
That's literally the picture they have for
Awesome.
Left-Handers Day. It's just
Awesome.
ink stained fingers.
awesome. Yes, no,
Oh man.
as a proud left-hander.
Have you ever seen the Jerry Seinfeld left hand joke or the left joke in general?
No.
How it's you got to see it. It's so
Okay.
good. I'm gonna send it to you.
Yeah.
It's so good. To anyone who has seen it, it's great.
Going back to every classroom I was ever in, where every right-hander had an armrest, and there were
Oh,
never a left-handed desk to be sure.
I'm surprised Catholic school didn't whip that out of you, man. They didn't beat that out of you.
No, they
didn't.
tried.
They didn't get the
They
ruler on the
tried.
hand.
It's a little bit, but they tried. Yeah.
Oh man.
We got to take a quick break. We're running long right here. Got to remind you about the folks over at Vex European. VexEuropean.com is their home base online. Where you're going to find them in real life, you're going to find them on Benefit Drive. That's kind of the back end of Industriplex. Vinny and his team at Vex European, they specialize in individual European makes of vehicles. BMW, Mercedes, Land Rover, Audi, Jaguar. Jaguar owners. I'm going to keep reminding you about this. Your dealership closed in Baton Rouge a couple months ago. You might be due for your next oil change right about now. Go visit Vinny and his team at Vex European. Let them start with the maintenance on your vehicle so they can know the history of your vehicle. Same way your doctor tracks your chart, that's what Vex does with your vehicle. I take my car there for just the most basic of maintenance up to repairs that I need. Check them out online at VexEuropean.com. Quick break. Darryl Hurst is next.
Yeah, I've got friends that were like, I say friends. You know, when you work with somebody for so long, they're like, it doesn't matter how old they are, even if they're in their 60s. I worked with these two guys when I was in Homa for years, 6 years, right? And that's what they said about like being in school. Like, yeah, he was left-handed, but he just kept getting the ruler where he just became right-handed. Byron says,
so I went to Catholic school for kindergarten, and then I moved to public school.
Is that for real though?
For first through eighth.
Yeah.
And then I went back to Catholic school for 8th through 12th.
Oh.
And yes, I repeated 8th grade because I was super duper young.
Yeah.
So
Byron says Haldane will be hand painting miniature Confederate soldier suits. I nearly lost it when I read it when you were doing the read.
He couldn't say World War II.
Shane Gillis has a bit about that.
I know.
Yeah. You're
Fall
young
asleep
and
watching
liberal, and then you're
documentaries.
watching World War II documentaries.
It's early onset Republican.
Yeah, exactly. Oh man.
The business war stuff is fascinating to me, though.
Oh,
It's a really well
Yeah.
done, properly produced podcast.
Is Darryl coming in, or is that a?
I thought he was coming in. 819 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP mornings with Brian Haldane rolling right along. We're looking for Metro Councilman Darryl Hurst, supposed to be on with us right here in this segment. I just texted him real quick. We'll see if we can't get a hold of him. He's got some stuff he's working on right now that it's some really good stuff. Talk about the tire problem we have in Baton Rouge and how it ties into blight and how the Metro Council can help and what he's doing on that front. So hopefully we can get him in here sooner rather than later. I'm not, he hasn't returned my text yet though. I don't want to have to get, I was going to give him a little bit of hell about getting in studio because, it's not like he would have an excuse to not be here. He's got a hell of an off-road vehicle to get here, right? Oh, all right. That was another news story from another time. I tell you what, let's just pivot for right now, John, while we wait on Metro Councilman Darryl Hurst. I want to fast forward to what we had for the outside in. Cuts 4, 5, and 6. Cool. We talked about this with Jeff Carrera yesterday. Coming up next week, Amtrak is relaunching their passenger train service from New Orleans to Mobile. It's going to start on Monday. Our news partners, the Louisiana Radio Network, reported on it at the bottom of the hour, last hour. People who want to take a bus from Baton Rouge to New Orleans to catch the train, there's an easy way to do that. Florian Cintron with Flix North America says you don't have to buy two different tickets if you want to combine those into your trip.
We coordinated our schedules with Amtrak schedules on the new Mardi Gras service, so you can now buy a ticket with both services on different companies, and it'll be one ticket and one trip.
Flix Bus already provides daily bus service between Baton Rouge and New Orleans. Citron says the schedule has been timed up so that you could take the bus from the capital city to Union Passenger Terminal in New Orleans to catch that train to, Mississippi or Alabama's Gulf Coast.
No more two tickets, no hassle. And it's really great because the connections are timed, so you're not going to be waiting at the New Orleans bus station or train station for too long.
I do like that, though, but it does take some coordination to make sure it maps out. Traffic on the Bonacary Spillway, you don't want to, ruin your whole trip based off of that, right? Traffic on, I don't want to get too hyper-specific in Baton Rouge, talking New Orleans streets. But you know how when you're on 10 heading into New Orleans, right before you get to the Veterans Boulevard exit, it always stops for no reason whatsoever? It does take a little doing. It does take a little timing. So they're going to build in a little bit. Citron says they've got two dedicated buses that you can book at Amtrak or Flixbus that you can connect to the Mardi Gras service.
There's no waiting for 3 hours in the New Orleans train station. Seamless, the bus and the train stop a couple feet from each other. And so it makes for a really beautiful connection.
And from there, you head on to the Mardi Gras service that ultimately ends up in Mobile before coming back. So I want to ask this question, and I would love your feedback over on Facebook Live. Of course, the great folks at Lake Urgent Care, taking care of us on demand, taking care of us online, taking care of us, making sure that our broadcasts are available at talk1073.com. Hurst says he's 1 minute out. All right. Are you going to take part in this Amtrak bus service down to the Gulf Coast? Because if there is room for a bus to fill up, isn't there room for the train to come up here as well? And I know I'm opening up a can of worms that I don't like going down because I believe the idea is too nostalgic and won't have enough demand. But are you, pardon the pun, on board? Let us know over on Facebook Live. It's always been about when it comes to a Baton Rouge to New Orleans train and back. Everybody wanted to go down to New Orleans just to, get hammered on Bourbon Street and come back home again. Or go to a Saints game and come back home again. And the conversation is never about Baton Rouge being a part of the mix here. But when it's part of a broader train line that would take you New Orleans, Biloxi, Mobile, and maybe another stop or two in between, Does that change your mind? Does that change the game for you? And would you stop with where it's at? In fact, just got a text from my buddy John. He says this whole process needs to evolve to a passenger train service from Houston to Atlanta across the Gulf Coast. And get the casinos to finance it. That's a hell of a point on the back end. But is there an idea too small? Is there an idea too big? Like, can you make this idea, which is very niche, very specific right now? Mobile to New Orleans is great. But can it be broadened out? And if you broaden it out, do you make it too big? Do you make it bigger than what its intent was? Every stop along the way adds a feature, adds an attraction, adds another reason to ride. But every stop along the way also eats up time. I'd like to explore the whole thing. I know that my take on the Baton Rouge train service has been in the past that Baton Rouge to New Orleans, the rail, whether you're talking about a light rail or high speed or whatever the case might be, just that alone, you're talking about having to make too many stops in order to be worth your time. And even if you're not stopping, it's still, you got to question whether or not it's worth your time. Because you could drive down to New Orleans in roughly the same amount of time and have your car. Like, how long does it take to get where you're going? Not New Orleans' train station, but wherever that address is in New Orleans that you're going to. You can get right there. You can get right to their front stoop in your car. You can't do that with a train. You're going to go straight to the train station. So I think the game evolves a little bit once you start broadening things out. Saying, so this train's going to take you to New Orleans, then it's going to take you to Biloxi. We can do a little bit of Biloxi here. I don't mind tracking sand back on a train after a trip to the beach. I'd rather put all that beach sand on a train than in my car, right? I got to put all that in the wife's Atlas.
That's right.
That's right.
Amen.
Sound off over on Talk 1073's Facebook page. We are live. Darryl says he's going to be here in a minute. We're just running out of time with the segment, though. And we've got Congresswoman Julia Letlow slated in our next segment. So we might have to regroup with him here. Man, hate to do that. He's got a good idea going on. We'll see how it plays out. In the meanwhile, I've got to remind you about the folks over at Industry Makes, industrymakes.org. Coming up Friday, we got a takeover of the show at Legislator. We will be broadcasting live from the L'Auberge in Lake Charles as Legislator will be underway. What's Legislator all about? It's all about a voice for a lot of the industry and manufacturing in Louisiana. That's the long and the short of it. Legislator itself is going to be coming your way Friday. It'll get started right after the show is over with. But it'll be running all the way, like the conference itself will run all the way up through lunch. We'll be bringing you all the players in that conference throughout the morning. Coming up Friday morning, 6 till 9, right here on Talk 107.3 FM. It's the folks from Industry Makes that are bringing it to you. All right, he's in studio, but we only got 2.5 minutes left in the segment. You had 8:15. Yeah.
Sorry, Brian.
You're all right. You know what? No, I'm out you right now. You were booking 2 interviews at once, and the next one was at a 35.
Oh,
yep.
man.
That's what happened here.
I'm sorry.
I tell you what. Give folks the 90-second rundown of what you want to do with tires.
The 90-second rundown is tires. The mayor, several council members have talked about how blight is egregious in our city.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things that we have not done a good enough job with, honestly, at the state level from a DEQ is having the manpower to hold the tire sales folks accountable, because we pay the disposal fee and then they end up in our wood and our hoods, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so what this new ordinance does is creates like an ABC board. An ABC board says that you can have an occupational license, like a restaurant. You can open up, but you can't sell liquor unless you get this permit.
Yeah.
So you can open up, but you can't sell tires unless you come through the Department of Environmental Services at the city of Baton Rouge. So now we get to match your manifest with the amount of tires you actually disposed of.
Mm-hmm.
So if you took in disposal fees for 200, but you only disposed 20, we can hold you accountable. We can fine you. We can shut you down with 3 offenses in a year. Every tire that goes into a neighborhood that's supposed to go to a tire disposal site,
yeah,
it's $50 a tire. So my point in saying that is we are now taking blight in our own hands. As myself, as Brandon Knoll, Rowdy Goday, Anthony Kenny, the mayor, are sponsoring this. And we're excited to now have solutions to blight in our community and stop sitting on our hands.
How did this get to be such a bad problem? How did it get to where we have tires everywhere?
I don't know, man. I think what's happening is these tire shops are not doing what they're supposed to do, which is to properly dispose. So they pile them up, and then when they pile them up, they figure out, how do I get rid of them? And they hire a little Johnny with a U-Haul to come over there, load them up, and then they dump them in the neighborhood. So some people complain about 4 tires. I've seen 2,000 tires in my district in one location. We put
2,000?
2,000. We put a camera out. The next week they moved down the street away from the camera, 200 more tires. And guess who ends up paying for that?
We do.
The taxpayer, because now the city parish has to pay because we don't owe a tire disposal location to have them disposed. And I'm going to show you. I know the readers, the listeners can't see it.
Oh, look, yeah. No.
That's Florida Boulevard right
drive
there.
up Florida Boulevard. No, I've had this conversation on numerous fronts when we talk about the Florida Boulevard, the redevelopment plan for Florida Boulevard. This is going to play a major role in that. So,
and I want to give a huge shout out to Sharon Man with Republic Services. This started off with a phone call of her saying, I've driven from Sherwood Forest to downtown, seen 15 tire shops and probably 15,000 tires.
Yeah.
We got to do something about it. So shout out to Sharon Man.
Okay, let's reschedule, get you back on 8:35 Monday.
I'm here. Let's do it.
All right, yeah. It's Metro Councilman Darryl Hurst. I appreciate you hustling in, man. The mixed up on time aside, but we'll dig into this a lot more on Monday.
Look forward to it. Thank you so much.
Local news, traffic, weather. Congresswoman Julia Letlow next. Yeah, no, I had you down for 8:15.
Sorry about that.
I had to make fun of you on the air though. I don't know if you were listening on the way in. I said I don't know where Councilman Hurst is at. I know he's got the off-road vehicle to get here.
Oh. Now look, listen. I want to talk about that on Monday.
I know you do. Because
let me tell you what happened.
This is a matter of.
Let me tell you what happened. I'm about to show you this right now. It was a hit by Greg Rome and Jen Rocker.
837 Talk 1073 FM WBRP. That was a mess. All right, we got Metro Councilman Darryl Hurst rescheduled for Monday, 8:35. I watched him put it in his calendar this time, so we will be good to go. Right now, let's waste no time at all. We got DC Current coming your way. And we welcome back to the show Congresswoman Julia Letlow. Congresswoman, how are you this morning?
I'm doing great. Good to be with you.
Not glad to have you on. This is an interesting little note right here. In our 7 o'clock hour, we had Julia Fisher Cormier talking about the ports in South Louisiana. So I think this is our first two Julia show ever.
Well, that's honored. I'm honored to be a part of it.
As the headliner, no less. So
yes.
Let's get into it. Monday. Was it Monday? I think it was Monday.
Yeah,
it was Monday. Education Secretary Linda McMahon was in town. Tell me all about it.
Oh, man, it was so awesome. I was excited to welcome her to Great Hearts Charter School in Baton Rouge. And, you know, Brian, I'm so glad that we have a Secretary of Education who cares enough to come to Louisiana and celebrate the awesome work that we're doing right here. She's on a nationwide tour to promote her agenda of returning education back to the states, which, you know, I'm a huge proponent of. And Baton Rouge was her very first stop. And Superintendent Kate Brumley was also there, and the Secretary bragged on what a fantastic job he's doing. You know, our test scores are rising. We're improving in national rankings. I think we went from one of the lowest states to about number 32, which is awesome. So we're going to keep working to empower states to improve learning opportunities, including through initiatives like school choice and charter schools. And I touted that when I met with the Secretary on Monday that she's a huge supporter of charter schools, as am I. And in fact, she's already announced more federal funding for charter schools to continue their great work.
Which is a good thing, to be sure, because school choice as a parent, I believe is 100% important because every kid is unique. Every kid is different. So making sure that there are opportunities or as many opportunities as possible out there is paramount. It's top priority. We're talking with Congresswoman Julia Letlow, DC Current, presented by LABI. Learn more about our state's Chamber of Commerce at labi.org. Congresswoman, want to walk through with you your take on what Linda McMahon's overall plan is when it comes, or what Donald Trump's plan is, when it comes to potentially getting rid of the Department of Education on a federal level.
Yeah, so she hasn't divulged her full plan yet. We're all waiting for that to come out. You know, I've watched her in multiple interviews saying that the president wants her to be the last Secretary of Education. So her job is to close up shop at the federal level and make sure that all of that funding is coming down to the states where it belongs. You know, I always say it. We know best how to educate our children right here at home. We coined a term up in D.C. These are our children, not the government's. And so I know she wholeheartedly believes that and is preparing a plan to make sure that, you know, all the T's are crossed and the I's are dotted to make sure that nothing is dropped in the meantime. But also I think most people would agree the Department of Education is bloated. When you look at the numbers about how much money stays up in D.C. and doesn't come down to support teachers and administrators and the schools and students, it's mind-blowing. So while we haven't seen the full plan yet, she says it's coming, and I'll be the first to share it with you once she divulges it.
And looking forward to that, and because there's so many unanswered questions about, I mean, essentially, we're still going to need money, right? So, like, how do we get the money that's needed from the federal level if there's not a department to funnel it through?
Well, there's different agencies that can do it and do a better job without the bureaucracy tied to it. Small Business Administration has been floated, but there's other agencies that could have the power to bring those down, block grants, make sure that the states have control, and do what they do best. So all of that's being worked out right now. I don't have those firm answers, but I do know that whatever they decide, it's going to be better than what was coming down from the Department of Education.
No, 100%. And you know, Dr. Brumley with his "Let Teachers Teach," that is the mantra over there. The more we see it scale up, the more we realize that it is actually scalable.
Yeah, absolutely. And it was so great to see Dr. Brumley in his element and touting the let teachers teach. But, you know, he's not just talking the talk, he's walking the walk. The numbers don't lie. Our numbers are significantly higher. And what he's doing on the ground here in Louisiana is going to be a blueprint. The secretary said it herself. She wants other states to learn from what we're doing right here in Louisiana. It's the reason this was her first stop on her national tour.
Absolutely. And she's hitting all 50 states, if I'm not mistaken. So there will be plenty of examples to come from other places as well. But seeing us get the first bite at the apple there, to be a national leader, I think that's something that, you know, we do a terrible job of celebrating ourselves in Louisiana. We do a fantastic job of pointing out when we're awful. And 32nd is, you know, in a vacuum, 32nd isn't something to brag about, but jumping 17 points on the charts is. So
right.
It is worthwhile to say, you know, not job.
Absolutely. Let's celebrate our successes and keep going. Use them to motivate us. Our work is not done, just like you said, but my goodness, we always focus on the negative, and we have so much potential in Louisiana. Let's go get it.
Yeah, absolutely. Couldn't agree more. We got Congresswoman Julia Letlow with us. DC Current presented by the Louisiana Association of Business and Industry. Now, we were talking school choice a little bit, and you were talking about what a proponent of school choice Linda McMahon is. You had some provisions in the reconciliation bill helping fortify this as well.
Yeah, so one of the things that isn't really talked about, there's a lot of hidden jewels in the big, beautiful bill, but I was an original co-sponsor for this one. But it included a historic expansion of school choice through the first federal K-12 scholarship tax credit. So this is a little convoluted, so bear with me, but this is designed to provide private funding that will allow more families to choose the schools that best meet their child's needs. So if that's a private school, then this will help those families get their children into private schools. So the scholarships are funded by donations to approved nonprofit organizations who then will provide the scholarships. And how that is all going to work out and play out is still being determined. But starting in 2027, those who give will receive a dollar-for-dollar tax credit in return, and that maximum credit is $1,700 per taxpayer. So this is all about providing the highest quality education opportunities to every child. And when a school is failing, a parent should have the opportunity and the money in place to be able to send their child to a different school so that they can receive a quality education. So I was so proud to be an original co-sponsor of this. It made it in the big, beautiful bill. I'm excited to see the results that it produces.
Okay, I know you said we're short on details of it right now, but as a parent of private school students, as a parent of Catholic school students, does this apply there as well?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. It will. And I mean, that's the whole intent, that if a parent wants to send their child to a private school, then there should be an opportunity for them to apply for scholarships to be able to send their children to a private school.
Well, because I know on a state level, we've had the Louisiana Gator Scholarship, which had to be scaled back a lot more than a lot of us parents wanted, though. This would be above and beyond that, something that, you know, if Gator wasn't available to you, that's $1,700 we can buy in on.
That's right. That's right. And there's so many people out there, Brian, who believe in school choice and have the opportunity to give $1,700 and receive a tax credit. So I'm excited about what this pool of money will bring to parents who may not have the financial availability to send their kid to a private school, but will make it a little bit easier for them.
Wait, okay, maybe I misheard. So this would be for other people to set up scholarships, or would it be for if I want to invest in my own kid's scholarship?
Yeah. So if you wanted to apply for a scholarship,
right,
for your child to go to a private school, that would be a possibility, and that would be funded by other people who believe in school choice who pay in the $1,700.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I thought I was getting tax credits dollar for dollar.
Yeah.
Okay. All
nope.
Right. That washed right past
convoluted. Me. It's a little convoluted. I got to find a better way to explain it.
Well, like you said, the details are still being worked out, and
that's right.
Not until 2027. In the meanwhile, education has been the forefront for I know with your district, there's been a lot of ag as well, but education has really been your driver since getting into Congress. this is going to be such a strange question to ask, but how do you continue to like find new avenues to make sure things apply, to make sure things are current with where we need to be headed on the educational front?
Oh, well, yeah, definitely touring around the state, talking to administrators, to teachers, to parents. Whenever I talk to people, they, for the most part, are so excited about the federal government getting out of their business, bringing that power back down to the states. Of course, you want checks and balances. You want the best curriculum for your children. But again, once the federal government got involved, it just turned into mad chaos. And so I'm excited to work with our governor to make sure that Louisiana is providing the best education possible. Again, I can't say enough good things about our superintendent. So I'm excited about what the future holds and really just going around and learning best practices and what we need to be doing in Louisiana.
What's your schedule looking like this week? What you got on tap?
Oh, goodness. So I have been running around the district. I drove all the way up to Monroe and back yesterday for a ribbon cutting for the St. Francis Hospital. We were able to provide 2 generators up there. Y'all know how important generators are down here. So was able to go up there and celebrate that win with them. They just opened a $48 million. So excited about that. And then today I'll be running around Livingston Parish and just meeting with my constituents.
I'm sorry, you broke up right in the middle of that with this big digital sound. When you were talking about generators. A $48 million what?
A $48 million power plant. Up in St. Francis.
That was what got edited. Okay.
That's right. Sorry about that. I'm not sure what that was.
That was a little bit weird. So, all right. Looking forward to more follow-up on that. Enjoy Livingston Parish today. In the meanwhile, she is Congresswoman Julia Letlow. We always appreciate the time. Talk to you in a couple weeks.
Thank you so much, Brian.
Thank you as well. That was a weird little digital, I don't know what that was. Was that the aliens?
I think it was. I think they were trying to make contact.
Was that the alien? I mean, it'd be a weird spot to start.
Yeah.
Have you been seeing these stories?
Yeah. Oh, you mean the attack that's coming on in November?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Want to talk about that next?
Yes.
All right, cool. Let's break. We got Your Money Now coming your way. We'll check traffic one more time. We'll close it out after this.
Yeah, that was strange. So she heard it. Was it coming?
Yeah.
That's weird. Let's see. I'm going to listen back to it.
Yeah. They don't care. But yeah, I'll do that. That's good. Have that at the ready to play again. I got to knock out another live read, just making up for all the ground lost on Monday. I'll do Landmark Bank, and then I'll be halfway there. Oh. $8:56 Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP, Mornings with Brian Haldane, rolling right along. Gonna hand off the microphone here in just a couple minutes. Did we just have first contact? I tell you what, we'll pick up on that in just a minute. Got to remind you about the folks over at Landmark Bank. LandmarkBankLA.com is the website. When you need a bank, you actually need a banker. Whether you talk about your checking or savings, whether you talk about saving for tomorrow, borrowing for tomorrow, investing in yourself if you want to go that entrepreneurship route, buying a house, sending your kids off to college, planning for retirement, all these things involve a bank and, more importantly, a banker who understands where you are, where you want to be, and how to get you there. That's why I send you to LandmarkBankLA.com, LandmarkBankLA.com. Been around since 1897 as a community bank, and they remain a community bank to this day, and they always will be. LandmarkBankLA.com. Okay, sometimes stories grow legs very, very quickly. And John and I were kind of going back and forth on this a little bit. John, you said it's going to be November?
Yeah, I believe that's when the...
There's a story that's been rolling around that says aliens could reach Earth in 116 days. That was yesterday that I saw the story. What crackpot says this?
You just found out?
Yeah.
Oh, man, I've been preparing.
I know. I found it last night.
Oh, okay.
Last night I was on this one last night.
Yeah.
What crackpot is telling us, what tinfoil hat wearing goober in his mother's basement is saying we're going to see aliens in 116 days? A Harvard professor.
Yeah, apparently a team of astrophysicists has raised concerns about a recently discovered interstellar object named 31/Atlas, claiming it may not be a comet at all, but potentially a technological artifact of alien origin.
Harvard professor Avi Loeb claims that this unexplained flying object hurtling towards Earth might be not even an artifact. It might be a spacecraft.
Oh, wow.
That's what Avi Loeb says.
But it's projected
Yeah.
for late November and early December.
Yeah. He's been closely watching this foreign object hurtling through space and heading towards our planet, unsure of the interstellar visitor. Scientists, like you said, 31 Atlas is what they named it. But this isn't some like wackadoo somewhere. This is a Harvard professor who's on board saying, you know, this could be aliens. This could be it for us, John. We might be done. We might have gotten first contact in our last segment. For those that missed it, Congresswoman Julia Letlow was on with us, and apparently she ruffled some alien feathers.
For the St. Francis Hospital, we were able to provide 2 generators up there. You know, y'all know how important generators are down here.
Well, no, you got to back it up.
Able to
You
go
passed
up
it
there
already.
and celebrate that win with them. They just opened
I
a
just wanted to
$48
provide
million.
context.
There it went. Okay, there it went.
We go. The truth is out there, Brian.
No, I understand that, man. But you get those little hints and inklings that, you know, people ignore, and then before you know it, you got Randy Quaid flying into the heart of the beast.
It's a cool sound, though.
It is a cool sound. Well, I don't know. It also sounds like dial-up, which is going away.
Yeah.
So credit to Cade for that punchline. Yep. All right, we're out of here. Moon's next.
Oh, man.
All right, Facebook. Philip says, why are tax dollars funding a for-profit hospital? They can't buy their own generator. I'm sure there's a reason for it, Philip. If it's a for-profit hospital, that would you have a not-for-profit hospital anywhere near there? I don't know. I don't know. I would, if you're curious about it, I'm sure that the information's out there if you want to look into it. Okay. Byron says Avi Loeb said the same thing about the Comet Atlas. He was wrong, but by all accounts, he's a serious scientist who has mad contributions to the field. I don't know. I'm here for it, if not for the fun. There's a lot it could be. I'm not trying to speculate, but it's aliens, and it's totally aliens. You know what's going to be okay? We got to do this. We got to do this as a poll later on. Which science fiction movie do you think is going to come closest to reality when the aliens get here? 2001: A Space Odyssey, Independence Day, Mars Attacks, First Contact. What was the one with Mel Gibson? Signs.
War of the World.
Like, which one do you think somebody's closer than others?
Yeah.
Right? Somebody's closer than others with how it's going to play out.
Scary Movie 3.
Oh. Which is Signs.
Yeah.
That's the third.
Yeah.
So, which sci-fi movie do you think is going to nail it? I think it's Mars Attacks.
Okay.
I think it's Mars Attacks. And like they're going to have the not glass, but some sort of protective helmet because I don't know that they breathe oxygen.
There's a movie called Arrival, too. That was good.
What happens if alien life forms come here and breathe off of carbon dioxide? There's our whole carbon capture problem solved.
There you go.
I breathe out, they breathe in.
That's right.
Like
Now
Machine Head.
Now that's a step in the right direction.
Breathe out, breathe in.
That's it.
Breathe out. Let's go,
it's
aliens.
Bush all over again.
We're in a weird spot right now. We're too far into hurricane season for me not to have serious shit to talk about.
Yeah.
We don't have a special session going on like we had 4 of last year. It's not football season yet. The hell am I supposed to do?
This is it. This is the topic of the
Bro,
century.
going to be a mix of government and aliens. I'm all about it, man.
Where's
Jeff
that guy from the
Landry,
History Channel? Get that guy in here.
Giorgio Tsoukalis.
Yes.
Why do I know that fucking name?
I was about to say,
I'm more likely to miss a kid's birthday than I am to forget the name Giorgio Tsoukalis.
Giorgio Tsoukalis. Wow, I didn't know his name. Yeah.
Man. Aliens. All right, we're getting out of here, y'all. So stupid. We'll see you tomorrow.